Nerds, who wants a shot at the champ?
The Money Line. We are live with episode number 25, and we got a big announcement. That's what I got Mike on the right side right now, because I want him to let the people know the latest news, and we'll be talking about it a few times throughout the show. But Mike, tell us.
We are pumped here on the Money Line to announce a partnership, a great sponsor with MyBookie, one of the absolute best places you can trust to go ahead and place your bets. Guys, we have our own promo code. I believe, AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, 50% when you sign up, right? You get a little extra bonus.
Yeah,
so
50%
guys,
bonus.
MyBookie's where it's at now. We are partnered up with MyBookie. We could not be happier. Ladies and gentlemen, the Money Line and MyBookie doing damage now.
I'm so excited. And Mike, I'm taking my spot back on this side now that I had you read it off. But guys, the code is also Moneyline for the MyBookie sponsorship now. So put that in, promo code. You get a 50% bonus. So what that means is if you throw $500 into your account, they're going to give you an extra $250 to play with. And it also helps the boys out. So if you are interested in betting on fights, maybe you're looking for a new book, MyBookie's a pretty quality site to use. I've used it for a long time. I know you have as well, Mike.
Yep.
They're reliable. They're going to come through for you. Let's get it, bro. Let's go.
It's the number one site I've ever used. You know, most of my bets have been through MyBookie. You want somebody you could trust where you're going to go place your bet. MyBookie's been awesome. And man, how cool that they wanted to, work with us and do something here together. So, they support us. We support them. Guys, make sure to show MyBookie some love. And, you get a little extra money too. So it's a win-win, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure we show them some love and definitely hit MyBookie up for these bets. And there are some good bets on this card, ladies and gentlemen. We got a badass pay-per-view ahead of us. So I hope you got some dollars ready. I know I'll be putting a little something on this card.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, Mike. I'm so pumped to be back for the live streams. I know that I was off last week, so the people were fiending for it. We live for the full card. Maybe Mike will stop by and say what's up, but there's always no pressure on Mike. I don't want to stress him out. He can't deal with me for too long. You know what I'm saying?
I will be on this Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Now, forgive me if it's main card. I know AJ goes prelims, the main card. He's like eating lunch and dinner on the broadcast. You guys got this guy working. You won't see me eating no hot dogs or nothing during the broadcast, but I will come on and talk some fights. So we'll see you guys for the live stream on Saturday. Yeah.
Listen, we got something huge coming now. Legendary martial artist making his Money Line debut. We are joined by Aung La N Sang.
No lies on me.
Aung La N Sang, how are you, my brother?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. It's a pleasure to meet you, my man.
Can't complain, brother. Living the dream out here. I'm in Huntington Beach, California. Are you out there in Florida right now?
Yeah. It's always sunny. The weather's always nice. The training here is always great. So it's good.
I'm also a Florida man, bro. I'm with you in Florida. I'm in Tampa, though, so I'm a little bit more on the north side.
Okay. Tampa's a nice place, man.
Yeah, I like it, bro. If you want to come out, man, we'd love to have you out here.
Sure.
Bring him in live in studio. I like it. Now, I know you went to Florida partially just to train at Sanford MMA, right, Aung? So please tell me what it's been like training at Sanford. I work for Bellator, so we've got some of our best fighters training out there right now. Our interim champion, Mr. Storley, is out there, a phenomenal wrestler who I'm sure you've put some rounds in with. But you're a bigger guy, so who do you have there at the gym to train with, and what brings you to Florida to Sanford MMA?
Well, I came here for my first training camp in 2018. Met with Henry Hoof, did one private lesson with him, and I was like, and he invited me for the sparring. And after the sparring session, I was like, this is the place I need to be. There's no ego. Everybody works hard. No easy rounds. Everybody's a tough round. And the vibe here is like, it's great. All respect. We work hard. No drama. The coaches know what they're doing. The coaches are like they're like your business partner. They don't act like they're that much, that above you. They don't have ego as well. So it's been amazing, and I'm very, very happy that I made this choice 4 years ago to move down here, and it's paid dividends.
We can see it. Absolutely, man. Big fan of your style. Obviously, when you came to the United States, you were already a great striker. How have you improved training at Sanford? What is 2022 Aung La N Sang? What do you have benefited from training in that room?
You see the levels, you see the levels, the highest in the world. You see, like, the level of wrestling here, the level of striking here, how everybody's able to put everything together. And I get to see, like you talk about Logan Storley.
Yeah.
I get to work with Logan Storley too, even though I'm a weight class bigger than him. He's a great guy to work with, very knowledgeable. And do you know Jason Jackson?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, who doesn't know Jason Jackson? See, guys like maybe a little bit under the radar of the mainstream MMA, but these guys are super good, super talented, and I get to be their training partner. So for me, it's a dream come true.
That's awesome, man. And I'm excited too, because now you talked about like being a little under the radar. One Championship is partnered up with Amazon now. They'll be on Prime, and they're going to get more of that like USA prime time slot. I believe that Mighty Mouse fight is the debut with Adriano Moraes. It'll be on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is good for the American viewers. How do you feel about that? Are you pretty excited to, get more eyes on you guys? And I've also heard maybe ONE FC in the USA sometime in 2023.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very pumped for that. In any other sports, like let's say soccer, you don't say a guy that plays soccer in England is worse than the guy that plays soccer in anywhere else. Like just say, for example, right? A guy that plays soccer in Portugal or let's just say Finland is not any worse, because the MMA is very similar too. If you train your wrestling, if you train your grappling, if you train your striking, like just because you don't fight per se in the UFC doesn't mean you're not a high level fighter. There's a lot of great fighters out there. There's a lot of great fighters that people don't know about. I know there's a lot of guys under the radar at Sanford, and I'm sure in other gyms as well. There's like killers everywhere, man. I'm telling you, we've just scratched the surface. Guys like Shevchenko, people don't know much about. Man, these guys are good. They're very well rounded, very high skill level, and big for their weight class. What we know of the MMA sport is still very, very small. Especially in the mainstream MMA media.
I like that. Yeah,
you go ahead,
Mike. I think I'm with you, man. Like, no, I'll win that rock, paper, scissors. You want to go with me, Mike?
Never.
I'll tell you, man, like, I really agree, because fighters come from all over and the levels are just there. Like, there's guys you wouldn't know, like the American fan base wouldn't know. And then they could go head to head with, a lot of the top talent in the world, whether it's UFC, Bellator, PFL, etc., especially in ONE Championship. I mean, you guys have hyper elite talent from that whole Eastern hemisphere there. So I'm really happy that you guys get that chance on Amazon. It's going to be better for me as a fan, because I get to watch it on that American prime time. At least we're spoiled with the UFC in the States, though.
Yeah, so if you see the level of striking, with the Muay Thai guys versus the UFC fighters, it's night and day, man. You can't compare it. Like the high level Muay Thai guys, the Muay Thai champions, their striking is like, they've been doing it since they're like 3 years old, 4 years old. You can't see the same with MMA. Right. But MMA, is it's like it's one of those things. It takes a lot of components. Yeah. So, and it's also kind of funny, right? The champions are getting older too. A lot of the champions are I don't know if there's any champions in their early 20s anymore. Because it takes a long time to build skill set.
True.
And nowadays, like you can be pretty strong and pretty active even in your 40s. So the MMA landscape is going to change a little bit.
I love seeing it too, because I feel like we're getting longer careers in this era as opposed to, like, the earlier eras. fighters are taking less damage. You know, nowadays I feel like it's less of that old school bite down on the mouthpiece and let's only bang. I mean, we're still gonna see some great fights. It's gonna happen
every time I fight.
Yeah, that's your style.
Every time I fight, yeah.
I love
mean,
that
you're an
style.
exciting guy, Aung. That's just how you Muay Thai guys do it.
Yeah.
And Aung, you were talking about the competition between organizations. You have fought Brandon Vera. You have fought crossover stars. So you have a handle on it better than most. You think that these guys in 1FC who have the Muay Thai backgrounds, do you think their striking is underrated in mixed martial arts? One little taste we got was Mighty Mouse doing the hybrid rules fight, right? But you know, what do you think the next 5-10 years here looks like for 1FC? Do you think they house a lot of the best strikers in the world?
Yeah, for sure. Like when it comes to striking, pure striking, especially at the lower weight class, you can't beat one championship. You know, one championship has the best strikers as far as the kickboxing and Muay Thai goes, and it's only going to grow. You know, as they bring in more talent from Thailand, it's going to grow. You know? And all over. I'm not just saying Thailand, but all over the world. They got guys from England has great strikers too. You know, Jonathan Haggerty and these guys. Like, I'm not very well known. You know. In the mainstream MMA in the States, but they're getting, you know, they've had decades of experience, decades of training, you know, these young guys too. So you're going to see, you know, great, in one championship at least, you're going to see a lot of great striking.
I love
Muay Thai,
I love
the
it.
art of 8 limbs, AJ. These Muay Thai guys, they don't just throw the hands and the feet.
Yep.
They got the elbows, they got the knees, they got the Thai plum. Ong, where the hell is the Thai plum gone? You remember when Anderson Silva and Vanderlei Silva, they used to just wrap people up and knee them in the face? It's like gone away in MMA. I thought that was one of the most effective clinches possible. You Muay Thai guys got to bring that back, Ong.
You're funny, man. Because, I mean, if you haven't felt it before, it's dangerous and it's deadly. Yeah. But if you train it, then you know how to defend it. You know, just like the, you know, the Dagestan handcuff and all that. The sport's going to keep evolving and getting better. You know, people are going to find ways to stop it. Like the Thai plum is effective if you don't know how to work it. You know, if you understand the concept of it and if you put your body in the right position, you're not going to be devastated by it. You know, so that's just my thought. You know, but MMA is an ever evolving sport, and it's going to keep getting better. You're going to see young guys that are super talented. You know, like, hey, this weekend I have 2 friends fighting in the UFC, Brendan and Andre Fialho. Those 2 are young guys. Those 2 are in the mid-20s. You know, been doing it since they were kids. So I'm just saying, you know, you're going to see this sport keep evolving and keep getting better. You know, my son and my friend Teal Tang, his son, they're doing jiu-jitsu now, you know, and they're so young, you know, and they have us as their father and their coach. So these kids are going to get good, you know. This sport is going to keep evolving and getting better, and I'm excited for it.
Oh man, I'm super stoked as the hardcorest as they get fans of seeing the technique evolution in the next 5 years. I can't imagine like the next 15, like the next generation's up. Now, we talked about a little bit of fighters' careers peaking later now, and perfect example to segue into Glover Teixeira defends the belt this weekend against Yuri Prochazka. I'm curious, Ong, if you have a side that you're leaning there, if you have a favorite in that matchup that you think you're picking, what do you think of that fight?
I think how do you pronounce his name?
Prochazka.
He's a Czech guy, right? Prochazka. I think he takes it, just because his striking is very unorthodox, and he has such a range advantage, and I do believe he's a little bit faster. You know, I do believe he's a little bit faster, and he hits hard. Especially with those 4-ounce gloves and the elbows too. Yeah.
He's got a little Muay Thai.
Yeah, for sure. His elbows, his striking is a little bit faster. So I'm leaning towards him, but I'm rooting for Teixeira. You know, I hope he gets it done for the old folks.
That's good.
That is awesome. 43 years old.
I saw Teixeira on my way back from Singapore the last trip, and he was going to Vegas for his fight, and then he won the belt. It's like kind of cool, yeah.
That's sick.
We said hi and stuff. So.
That's amazing. Glover, he's
the
a
nicest
legend.
guy. They don't make him nicer than Glover Teixeira. And what a veteran, man. I mean, think about how he was stuck in Brazil for all those years with the visa issues. Meanwhile, Chuck Liddell's over here becoming a millionaire. Like, he had to watch from the sidelines and eventually got his shot in front of the big American audience, which could bring in some more money for him. I kind of think that's where you guys are with ONE FC, as you guys are about to hit the next sort of phase of ONE FC when you guys do this Amazon deal, or when it comes to fruition anyway. Aung, we're interested in you too. What are you up to? What can we look forward to? When can we see you back in that ONE FC cage?
I'm actually working with Herbert Burns at his gym.
Nice.
On my jiu-jitsu a little bit, sharpening up my grappling a little bit. So hopefully when they put me back, which I think is either in September or sometimes in this fall, I can just keep the ball rolling and get, a quick 2-3 fights before the end of the year. So.
Oh, 2-3. So you're looking to be active for the rest of 2022.
Funny, I'm built to fight. Like I don't take much damage. I know it's kind of funny, but like if you look at my stats, I think it's like significant shot thrown is like 1,200 or something like that in one championship, right? And then significant shots absorbed is like 1,500. So I absorb a lot more than I do. But like what I'm trying to say is when I fight, all the damage I feel like is superficial, so like I'm built to fight, so I hope they keep me active, but I do need to round up some of my skill sets and get better and be a racehorse instead of like a workhorse, more high performance athlete than just a worker,
Love that. And also, I guess with that Amazon deal, the one championship matchup between Mighty Mouse and Mirage, the rematch there. I guess I do want your prediction on that, if you don't mind giving it to us, because I'm curious you're lean for that rematch.
I'm friends with both of them,
Yeah. You don't have to say anything.
You really know.
Yeah, but I'm gonna lean towards Adriano because he's the rangier guy, great grappling, and one championship rule is needs to grounded opponent. So. It changes things a little bit,
Yeah, that is
True.
A game changer. That stateside, we don't have that. That's a huge game changer. I actually would like to see it in states. I'd love to see Valley Chudo style rules of everything legal on the ground, besides maybe the soccer kicks. Like we can skip those.
Soccer kick was legal too.
I remember
Pride
that
FC, baby.
No,
Pride FC.
My fight in China, the Russian guy soccer kicked me a bunch. And then they took it out like one or two events later after that.
Those soccer games. What did it feel like, man? Did it feel any different than a punch?
No, I blocked it though. So
good man.
I didn't absorb the whole soccer kick to my head. So
that wasn't one of the 1,500 significant strikes. That was not it.
That had broke his foot, huh?
Hey, Song, people don't know how much people break their feet kicking and stuff. Like, they see you guys throwing your body. They always think the other guy's getting hurt. You guys break your hands, your legs, your feet. I mean, this shit is brutal. Just even throwing a kick. My fourth fight, I kicked the guy in the face. My foot was a balloon, as Conor McGregor would say. So you Muay Thai guys, how the hell do you guys get so durable? You are one of the examples, man. I feel like you guys just grow up this way.
Yeah, we're kicking the heavy bag and like makes your bones like harder. I don't know what the scientific term to it, but your shin get harder, over time after you get, you kick the bag a lot. Even I'm telling you right now, like even your face gets harder. Like if you see my face, like this is like
leather
punch in the head, like it's like even your face gets harder. It's like your like the scientific term is like your form meets the function, right? Like because we get punched in the head a lot, we get punched in the face a lot. Like our heads significantly harder than a regular person's head. and also like our knuckles, like our knuckles are gonna be harder than a regular human beings because we're punching all the time, every day. So
That's amazing.
Makes sense to me. That's the
built to
lifestyle
fight.
they live, AJ.
Let's go. I love it, man. And Ong, I got to ask you another one because you are from Myanmar, and I know the national combat sport there is Lethwei. I personally really love Lethwei. Well, is there any like interest in the back of your mind of maybe like one day doing some type of Lethwei matchup for you? Is it just something like, heritage wise that you'd be interested in the future?
I mean, if one, because I'm still contracted with one championship. If one championship does like a leadweight, a hybrid leadweight rule fight, I would do it for sure.
Okay.
But you have to go with what you're good at, and MMA is what I've been doing, all these years. So, but when you ask me the question of leadweight, for sure I would do it. It's not different. It's not. You say no gloves, but they are still wearing wraps. They're still wearing wraps, and their hands are pretty well protected. And as far as wrap goes, I don't even like to wrap my hand that much when I fight MMA. When I wear my 4-ounce gloves, like I always tell the cut man to keep the tape light on my knuckles and my wrist. So
why?
So they can feel my knuckle.
Like come that. Right through that little ass glove, huh?
Yeah. The Fairtex gloves, like the one championship gloves, are not like the UFC gloves. They're very, very like they're tight. They're tight.
You like that?
Yeah, they're really form fitting in your hands, in my hands at least.
I'll be honest, that's interesting. I would love to feel one of them because I had a UFC glove at the house, but I want to feel a one glove. That's sick.
You see how UFC glove is like a little puffy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that Fairtex one championship glove is like it fits like a glove.
That's sick. I like that, man.
Like a glove. I like it. I like it.
I want to try one on now.
Oh man, I got American slangs now.
You're one of us, brother. You joined the team now. We're the USA is better with Aung La N Sang here, so we appreciate having you, my friend. We don't want to keep you all day, but I do want you to just give us a little thought of who you want to see this year. You said 2 or 3 fights. What name motivates you?
Well, Yoshi Okami has been tweeting, to fight me, and he said, like, let's see who the best Asian middleweight is. So, hey, that sounds pretty good to me. Let's do it.
I love it. I love it. Sexyama versus Aung La N Sang.
Sign the contract.
Yoshin Okami, not Sexyama.
Oh, I thought you said Yoshihiro Akiyama.
Not Akiyama. No.
Yushin Okami. I heard Akiyama.
Yeah.
You should. I know you should understand.
Akiyama called me out too, but I don't think he wants to fight me anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't want to run it with you now.
He moved down to the lighter weights.
I think he's welterweight last time he fought, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. And Yushin Okami, what a gangster. I mean, again, another UFC guy, another person when you could sort of see where you're at. Yushin Okami, he's fought the who's who in mixed martial arts. He was the first true guy who people thought was going to be the first Asian champion in UFC history. Was Yushin Okami was the guy. That's a really big name for you. I hope that fight comes to fruition.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Tao Chachi.
Let's go.
You heard it here on Moneyline, ladies and gentlemen. We got one of ONE FC's best, a badass, big Muay Thai beast who's been training at Sanford MMA. Like he just told you guys, getting his ground game on point as his striking has always been. Aung La N Sang, we so appreciate you taking the time here, man. Leave us with how we could keep up with you.
Thank you. You can hit me up on Instagram, and it's just my name. I don't think there's that many Aung La N Sangs in the world. And I'm on Facebook as well as Twitter. So
awesome.
Shoot me a message, and thank you guys so much.
Listen, Aung, it was a pleasure. It was great to meet you. I'll definitely be supporting, and I look forward to seeing you again, my brother. Thank you so much.
September. Yoshi,
let's go.
Put on.
Keeping on a lookout, brother. I'm excited to see you back in the cage, man. Aung La, thank you.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace, Aung. Thank you so much, brother.
Bye.
Take care. There he goes.
All eyes on me.
Had to get it back and ready to rock, my man.
Let's go. We gotta
Ready?
ready?
Switch sides,
Ready?
man. We gotta switch sides.
Ah, there
Oh,
we
look at that,
go.
That
Now
was a
we
nice
got
flow.
it. Awesome to talk to Aung La N Sang. Man,
Great.
I watching some of his fights back, watching that war with Brandon Vera where he knocked him out in the second round. Exciting fighter.
I like his personality a ton too, man. Just a genuine great dude. Got my support even more. I'm definitely gonna shoot him. Let's see if he replies to my DM. I'll shoot him and say, "Yo, Aung, thank you so much for coming through." Good stuff, bro. That was fun. And I had to ask him about Lethway because I like Lethway. It's pretty cool to watch, and it's super popular in Myanmar. Like that's the thing over there.
I gotta say, you went over my head with the Lethway. What we're talking bare
Burmese
knuckle?
boxing. It's more than bare knuckle. It's the art of 9 limbs, and it's bare
shit.
knuckle.
Oh shit!
The ninth
art of
limb.
9 limbs. The headbutt.
Yes.
Oh shit!
If you want to see some sick bare knuckle Muay, it's not even bare knuckle Muay Thai. It's Lethway. It's beyond. It's the art of the 9 limbs. Look up Dave Leduc, Leduc. I'm telling you, this man is an absolute savage. And you watch the style of fight that happens there, it's crazy. And if it's not a knockout, the fights are all draws. They need a knockout to win.
Like submission only grappling.
It's
See,
crazy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that's the true sport of fighting, right? What are we doing here? We got to switch from MMA to Lethway.
Let's go.
Nice, dude. Nice. And headbutts. These guys are crazy. They got
Violent
cuts like crazy.
Warfare. It's just beautiful warfare, man. I want to be at one in person. That's one of my goals.
Guys, you've been blowing up the comments and we appreciate it. Just wanted to give some shout outs to the people who are showing us love for the MyBookie sponsorship. Huge shout out to Kevin L. Basri here. Let's go. I'm getting a MyBookie account. Yes, as you should. And you better use our promo code Moneyline.
Moneyline, guys, use it. MyBookie is sponsoring the Moneyline now. So big things are here. We're going to get into the picks. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe if you are new. Let's start it off with fight number 1, Ramona Pascual versus Joselyne Edwards. I don't love the matchup because I'm critical of the 145-pound weight class, and it's not the ladies' faults here. The fault is of the UFC because they haven't made this a legit weight class. It's just fights in the weight class with the champion on top, but not really because Nunes fights at 135. So these girls are kind of back end fighting there. Edwards fought at 35 previously. Pascual, a little bit of a thick girl, so more naturally towards that 145 side. I'm going to go the Joselyne Edwards way. I got to give you the pick out the gate, but I got to complain about the matchup just a little bit because I don't think it's sensible to have a division without rankings. There's no path. What is this? This is just a fight. A fight for what? It's just, it's awesome to see, but it's like there's no implication of progress further, right? There's no ranking. There's nothing there.
That's what the UFC is, right? When you really ask these deep questions, like, when Dana White's talking about why the UFC is worth so much more than other organizations, he talks about how much better their production is or how much better. One of the things that the UFC has been able to do really well is storytell all the way up until talking about becoming the best fighter in the world. And they always put everything in context of you're in this sort of rough tournament to the top, right? Now, where I work, Bellator, we really do a tournament. You really get a tournament. You don't get to be Dana's favorite and get picked, right? Over in Bellator, you earn your keep, yeah?
Dana White privilege? Is that a shot?
Dana White privilege. That is hilarious, Tony Ferguson. Thank you for that. But the whole selling point on these divisions and these fights is you always hear the commentators going to it, the fans buy into it. It's everybody's trying to be king, and that's what you're working towards. We're just having regular fist fights out here, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get a champion of the weight class or we need to exit out. I 100% agree with you, AJ. Did you make a pick? You said Edwards.
I did because it's hard for me to go Pascual because she has good kicks. She's a strong girl. Edwards, I'm going to say what I like better. She's better from distance Muay Thai, and I think she has quicker footwork and hands. And also I think her jiu-jitsu is better, but her takedown defense is awfully subpar.
I'll go out on a limb and say Edwards' takedown defense is the worst in the UFC. That's
agree.
Really, really bad. When you cannot control where a fight takes place, I can't bet on you. Because if all it takes is for someone to just get a hold of you, drag you down, you stand up, they drag you down again. I mean, people can win a fight like that. I like to bring this up to my students before they have a competition. I'll say Randy Couture fought Brandon Vera. Randy Couture was worse at striking. He wasn't as good at jiu-jitsu. He couldn't take him down. But because he could just clinch against the fence better, he just used that the entire fight and he won the decision like that. Edwards will take it one step further. She can't even defend the takedown. I've got to go with Pascual just based on her being a competent MMA fighter versus an incompetent MMA fighter, a girl who does not have every aspect. Pascual, should make it competitive on the feet. I liked her TED Talk. Have you ever seen her TED Talk, AJ?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, her debut, I watched it.
She gave a TED Talk on fear and how to deal with fear and how it works for her. And, she's very smart and very thoughtful.
She's tough as fuck, too.
Tough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She definitely can grind through a tough fight. If I'm going to put money on something, I'm not going to put it on the worst wrestler in the UFC. I'll go Pascual decision.
You know what, Mike? You're onto something there. That's a good potential dog attack. I'll throw you the odds presented by my bookie for this matchup. Pascual is the plus 135 underdog. Some dog money from Mike Finch. Joselyne Edwards, the minus 165 favorite. I don't love the betting side, but yeah, it's probably dog or pass if you are looking to throw down. There's a decent shot that we go over 2.5 minus 210 because I do think it's going distance, but it's one that I'm just not really loving betting wise. If I had to say method of victory for Edwards, I'm going to say decision plus 145, Pascual by decision plus 315. The money's on the dog as far as the value by a long shot. So that's something to note.
AJ said it better than I ever could, ladies and gentlemen. Why not go the dog in this one? Because there's a clear pathway to beat Edwards. It's less clear when you're fighting Pascual. She has game everywhere. Edwards doesn't. It doesn't mean that she can't learn. She's still young and she's able to shore up those holes, but I haven't seen it. So until I see that, no way I'm betting on Edwards.
Yeah, we'll go Edwards for me, but Pascual for Mike, no money on my end. And even if you are betting the dog side, it's not one of our, favorite matchups to play. You're looking at back end of women's 145. So it's an odd weight class and a weird matchup. Could get you into trouble. That's really what I'm saying.
Be careful. Be careful. It is one of those fights when you guys talk about don't bet on women's MMA. Okay, here's one. Here's one where, a lot of things can happen in this fight.
Yes.
But, again, I'm going Pascual. Very nice TED Talk if you guys haven't checked it out.
Let's go. Let's jump to the next fight. It is La Niang and Silvana Gomez Juárez. Did I say La Niang? Na Liang in this matchup, who I actually kind of like the style of stylistically. I'm not trying to make these things like awkward rhymes, bro, but it just comes out like that sometimes. Gomez Juárez, though, does have a bit of pop in her hands, and I like the stand-up game for sure. And I think she's got an edge on the feet over Liang, clearly. The big question mark is grappling defense. We've seen Juárez submitted by armbar in both of her UFC outings. Granted, a lot more success in her sophomore appearance against Demopoulos, dropping her and then getting armbarred. But Na Liang is known for that armbar. Outside of the UFC, she was locking them up. She's known for a pressure styling game. She starts quickly and wants fights on the floor. If she gets it there, I do think the advantage over Juárez is fairly clear. I'm going to pick Na Liang, and I am going to say it's by submission, but it's just because I think if it gets to the mat, Juárez won't be there. But the striking advantage goes Juárez for sure.
Lupita Gomez, armbarred Juárez. Then she gets a matchup with Lil Monster, Vanessa Demopoulos, gets armbarred again. Now who do they give her? A woman who has finished not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 opponents via armbar. Liang Na is going to armbar this girl. It's just like, the person with the worst armbar defense fighting the person with the best armbars in the division. Now, let me slow the train because that sounded really confident. And you guys know I always got to give you both sides. Juárez is more athletic. Juárez has more pop. Juárez has more danger. Like, she dropped Lil Monster. I mean, let's be honest. Lil Monster looked like she got her shit rocked in that fight. So, if she's doing that to a high level girl like Lil Monster, I do think that she has a pathway to beating Liang. It's just like, okay, maybe she drops Liang. Maybe she's getting on top. She's growing ground and pound. She might get armbarred. I just don't like this big hole in her game. That armbar hole you could drive a semi truck through. She really needs to shore up her jiu-jitsu. Did she do it in a few months' time? I don't think so. I think Juárez might be winning this fight. She'll probably be winning the striking by a landslide. But the question is, when it hits the mat, if it hits the mat, how long is it going to take Liang? I don't think it'll take very long at all. Maybe a few seconds, maybe 1 or 2 attempts. Liang Na via submission, armbar.
Love it. I'm with you on armbar, and I'm thinking it's probably in the first 2 rounds. As far as the line for this one, Liang is the plus 105 dog. Gomez Juárez minus 135 as the favorite. Looking towards prop betting on this one, under 2.5 rounds, minus 170, or Liang wins via submission, upwards of plus 205 range. So it's not fantastic money, but it is still plus. I like the dog attack here, potentially under 2.5. Still women's MMA and lower end tier. Like, they're in the back end of the rankings really here for this weight class. So don't love it as far as the betting side, but dogging it up with my man Mike right here.
I mean, why not, right? 2 dogs for me, 2 fights, 2 dogs. Again, the biggest difference is the submission game between these 2 ladies. Liang has the biggest advantage there. With that being said, if you're a coach, it is nice to have a very athletic fighter like Juárez. Juárez needs to make a few things work for her in this fight to win a decision. I haven't seen enough evidence that she'll do that, So again, I think she'll fricking win the first round. It's just a matter of, can she make it through 15 minutes? I'm going to say no.
Submission, Liang for Mike and I. Let's keep on running. Next fight, Kang versus Danaa Batgerel. Excited to see these 2 throw down, man. It's a fun matchup for me.
Ooh,
and
hell yeah.
I like both guys a lot. And I'm curious, Mike, to throw your breakdown for us first, because I want to hear what side you're on.
Absolutely. Look, they're going to clash. I think this could be a fight of the night type of fight. I think that Kang's grappling game is pretty freaking impressive, AJ. The more I watch him get under overs on people, when you get in a clinch with Kang, he has excellent takedowns from that clinch. And then he gets the job done on the ground. His ability to get the back is superb. If you look back, he's got a lot of rear naked choke wins, and he's got a nasty mounted triangle he's landed on people. Like, how many people you see going mounted triangle? Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. I mean, couple examples, really not that many. You see that type of confidence in the grappling from Kang. He took down Alex Caceres, Chico Camus, a 73-inch reach for a bantamweight. Huh? That's a freaking wingspan. This man's a pterodactyl in that cage. So I really like, his abilities here, keeping the fight long and then also getting takedowns. As far as Danaa, he could KO him. That he'll definitely be going for it. His grappling is enough of a threat to, fall back on it. Keeps him in every fight. He pretty much plants his feet and throws super athletic shit, but it's pretty much left and right hooks when the fight gets hot. Like, if you go look at him exchanging, like, go look at a highlight reel, it's this or it's that. I don't think that's enough for Kang to get caught clean. He's a good counter puncher as Danaa, not a great counter puncher. I think those takedowns are going to come for Kang. And when they do hit the mat, I think Kang finds that back, dude. I'm going to go with my man Ho Kang via submission.
Wow. That's cool. I like it, man. I'm a little bit mesmerized by the submission. I didn't expect that it was going to be decision. I'm going decision, but I'm with you on the same side. And Danaa is dangerous with the hands, but like, I don't like relying on knockout power only as like your asset to winning the fights. Yeah. And also note the fact, right? These are not heavyweights. This isn't 265. This is 135. These guys are quick. And Kang hasn't been dropped, I believe, throughout the UFC. I know he hasn't been knocked out. A lot of wins by close decision for the most part in the UFC, but it also shows his durability, right? He's a guy that can take some damage, and it doesn't really come off as like, we talk about certain guys that just keep their head on the center line and they get cracked a lot.
Right.
Kang has a bit of movement to him. He's pretty rhythmic standing. I actually like his boxing and his straight punches. I feel like he's pretty solid with a stiff jab. Danaa more so based upon hooks, overhand punches. He's a loopy puncher. And the best way to a target, straight line, as we always say.
You got it. And when Danaa plants his feet, just like AJ pointed out, that's where the takedowns are easier, right? It's a lot easier to take down a person who grows their tree roots into the ground. I know exactly where they're at, so I could change levels and hit that double leg. When I got a guy like Max Holloway, I'm like, is he going to move left, right? Is he going to level change on me? Oh, shit, he's got the jab in my face. That's not Danaa's game. I do think Kang can line up that trained double leg, can line up that clinch to go ahead and get the takedown.
Love it. And let's get the odds up too, man, because I like that we're both on the dog. Plus 105 for Kang and minus 135 for Danaa Batgerel. Mike, you like win by submission. So I'm going to throw you.
I'm crazy, I know.
The crazy line, the Mike Finch line. Plus 700 for that. Plus 700. That's pretty big, man. Shoot. You like it?
Bro,
Plus 700? Is that your
little stab?
that might be
little,
your
little $10.
the Mike Finch Hail Mary prop. He likes it though. He likes it though. We got a question from Mike Finch in the chat as well as I
SoCal, what do I look like? I got a tan here, guys. What do you see
looking,
that sun on
looking
me?
tan,
Listen,
bro.
I grew up in Chicago. I should be more specific. I grew up north of Chicago in a little town called Lake Villa. Moved to Chicago, lived there for years. Now I'm out here in Huntington Beach, the freaking MMA capital of planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I am in Orange County, and I love living here. This has been like, get to walk to the beach. I mean, I'm seeing Tito Ortiz, Rob McCullough, freaking Tiki Ghosten. I see all the fighters are right here, guys. So I get to train with them and go run around. It's an MMA fan's dream to live in Orange County, specifically Huntington Beach.
Let's go. That's Mike Finch's story right there. We got a little bit of the backstory.
Hey, how do you think I ended up here? I was watching the Huntington Beach Bad Boy when I was 10 years old. I'm like, that looks like a nice town. Here I am.
Look at that, bro. God bless, Mike. God bless. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I also got to load up over 1.5 rounds at minus 220. I don't think it's a terrible idea also because I think it could go over.
Money line it, guys.
Money line.
Dana's
Mike
got
likes power.
Ho Kang's got a strangle on him. Money line it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it going because we're going dog city out here, Mike. And we got a question for you. How did y'all meet?
3 for 3. 3 fights, 3 dogs. Who's dog catching with me? Drop in the comments if you're dog catching with me. Let's go for a ride.
Dog city out here. Dog city. I think he means how did you meet Tiki? And all that.
I mean,
Just
Tiki
locally.
Ghosten. First time I met Tiki Ghosten is I came out here when I was 10 years old, and my uncle David told me, hey, I wrestle over at this gym with Tank Abbott and Tito Ortiz and Rampage. So he took me over there. I jumped in Tiki's class, and Tiki put me in with the pros. I got my ass kicked. I was 10 years old. But, I fell in love with this sport, man. And I definitely, I became an MMA fighter when I was 18 years old, and I definitely had a big jump on other people. I see some of these UFC fighters like, I've been training for 2 years now. I'm like, holy shit, I'm 30 this year. I've been training since I was 10. I've been training MMA for 20 years, man. I had a jump on these guys. If I had the strength and conditioning program right, if I had that freaking head that our guest just had, then I'd be in this game, man. I need to definitely,
30-year-old comeback.
Say again.
I mean, maybe a 30-year-old comeback because you got yourself a strength and conditioning coach right here, Mike.
Jake Paul, who wants to have an MMA fight with me? Ariel Helwani was thinking about doing an amateur fight.
That's
Ariel,
not fair.
I got you. Let's go.
You and Ariel's not fair, bro. You and Ariel's not fair. I would say Mike Jackson and you pro debut versus Mike Jackson's a fair fight. Let's at least he's got some fights.
That's hilarious that you said that. My students at UFC Gym Huntington Beach want to match me up with Mike Jackson too. Just so you guys know, when CM Punk made the announcement that he was coming to the UFC, I did my best to contact Sean Shelby, Joe Silva. I was posting on Twitter. I was doing everything I could to try to get that CM Punk fight. Something like that makes sense. I'm not having 20 pro fights now though, AJ. I'm a happy man. I'm married. I got the Huntington Beach crib. I'm fine. I don't need to get in no fist fights.
You listen, that time's passed for you, man. God bless, Mike. God bless. Guys, we're both going the dog on Ho Kang for this matchup. We're going on a heavy side tangent, having some fun here, but let's keep running up because big fights to talk about. Big fights. Andre Fialho versus Jake Matthews. Fialho is a powerhouse, absolute monster, and a guy that I am growing to really love watching fight. He'll take one to land one sometimes, which he was buzzed against Van Camp in the last one, and then he slept him brutally. Jake Matthews is a decent stand-up fighter, but he's got a well-rounded game overall. I like the pressure with the kickboxing, but I will note this. I don't see a ton of head movement, and I see he's like a very square-styled fighter. Fialho being a power puncher, Sean Brady dropping Matthews with a left hook, I believe. I see Fialho winning by KO here. I'm actually going Fialho second-round knockout. He's on the high, too, of this win streak. The confidence is definitely at an all-time high, 100%. And that going into fights, that mental state, knocking these guys out, being able to take shots, land your own, whereas Jake Matthews, coming off a dominant loss, got beaten up and, shown that maybe he's not that upper echelon level. Fialho doesn't have that right now. He was in there with Pereira as well, loses the fight by decision, but Pereira's top now. I think Fialho by KO. That's the pick.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about that Matthews loss, though. He's not losing the bums out here, AJ.
No.
But yes, I think that Matthews' shot here is catching a kick. When I watch his striking, I think he misses big, and you don't want to miss big against Fialho. You miss big with a big looping shot, and Fialho's going to put your lights out, man. The risk is very high when you're missing shots and your chin's available on him. Now, what I have seen from Matthews is a decent grappling game, and he's even got some instructional videos I found myself looking at, earlier this week on with his little jiu-jitsu, sequences that I liked. But I don't think he's going to get the fight where he needs it. Fialho's hands are much better. I think that's going to be the biggest difference here. So yeah, I'm going to double up with AJ. Unfortunately, my first favorite of the card, but I'm going to go Fialho knockout.
Fialho by KO, I think, is a good way to go, Mike. He's minus 145 as the favorite. Jake Matthews, that plus 115 dog. It's not crazy. It's a good playable money line bet. And also note the knockout prop, which of course is not going to be super inflated because that's Fialho's way of winning for the most part. Plus 125 for Fialho by knockout. I prefer money line though. I just, when I see only plus 125, it pushes me away from the prop side.
I agree with you, man. Look, it's close enough where you guys are going to make good money on it, and when you have that type of situation, just money line it. The percentage of landing is higher. We want you to sign up at MyBookie, but we want you to make money too. So let's go money line, bro.
Money line, baby, and hit that promo code money line as well when you do sign up at MyBookie for us. Much love, guys. I like this fight a lot though, Mike, and I feel like it could be pretty exciting finish. You like Fialho by KO?
I think so. Left hook or a right hand, brother. I think that left hook is money. I think the big right hand down the pipe is money too. So he'll find one of them. He'll probably put Matthews down and probably let him up, right? I mean, I don't know if Fialho is going to follow him down to the floor. I think the boxing difference here is going to be evident.
Yeah, agreed. Let's keep running. This next one's an interesting striking matchup. Overall, just interesting matchup. But the striking of Maheshate, I like a lot here. He takes on Steve Garcia. Light-footed, moves well, manages distance well, closes distance quickly. I like the stand-up game from what I've seen of him. Granted, very young fighter, 6-1 as a pro. Had fought a lot of, I don't want to say subpar, but irrelevant opponents starting off earlier in his career. Goes in plus 400 underdog and wins on Dana White's Contender Series.
Crazy, right?
That's
Who
big.
cashed that? Who cashed that? Drop in the comments if you cashed that one.
Somebody did. But you look opposite side him. Steve Garcia is an experienced guy, 12-4, has taken some losses, but is 1-1 inside of the UFC. Contender Series veteran. He's been around. And crazy enough, his fight in the Contender Series, he fought at bantamweight and he weighed in at 139. He's now up at 155. Much better move for Steve Garcia because he was, I don't know how he even got to 139 at 6 feet tall. Him and Maheshate are tall dudes, though, for the lightweight division. Not like uber tall, but good sized. I like Machete's technical striking better. I think Garcia could be hit and could be hurt in this matchup. The grappling of Garcia, not bad. I definitely think there's some offensive skill there, but not necessarily enough for me to want to bank on him. But it's like we haven't seen a ton of Maheshate at the high level yet. Like you can look back at regional tape and you can look at the Contender Series fight. It's still a big question mark. I'm picking Maheshate and I like him to win, and I think he's going to put it on Steve Garcia. But you have to respect Garcia's experience. And it's maybe not one that you want to attack heavy betting wise, because you're looking at it and you're like, what have I seen from Maheshate against anybody relatively good? That Contender Series matchup outside of it, nothing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Maheshate has just not fought the level of competition, AJ. I mean, there's a big difference in the level of competition that Steve Garcia has faced inside of that cage. It's significant. Steve Garcia knocked out Jorge Mariscal, who Jorge Mariscal used to, be a, Jose Mariscal used to be a coach at a UFC gym in Chicago. And so I used to, watch all his fights, and I'm really familiar with how tough of a fighter is. To knock him out, man, that's pretty freaking impressive. You keep going down the list, though. You saw Luis Pena was able to control him on the floor. So I'm not overly impressed with the ground game. And then if you really dig deeper, Steve Garcia gets a little wild on the feet. And stylistically, Maheshate is a good straight puncher. He likes to come up the middle with the knee, throw the straight right hand hand down the pipe. Stylistically, I like the Chinese fighter here, man. The first Chinese fighter to be signed through Dana White's Contender Series. He is hittable. It's not a fight I will be betting on, but I'm going to go ahead and double down with AJ and say Maheshate takes this on the cards.
Love it. I'm going decision as well. As far as the odds for this one, Maheshate is sitting at plus 150. Steve Garcia minus 180. We'll look towards the prop betting on this one and see if we can find maybe a nice juicy over. Over 1.5 rounds is minus 140. I would actually really like to play that tag. So if you have that available, might be something to look at. Over 2.5 sitting at plus money, plus 140. I think there's a decent shot. We do go distance, but note Steve Garcia was dropped in his last matchup, I believe against Charlie Antivaros, who's not necessarily UFC caliber at this point. If you did go decision, though, I'll give it's Maheshate by decision, plus 500 for him by decision. The KO is actually plus 290. So they're saying it's more likely he wins by KO as opposed to winning by decision. So interesting note on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to finish Garcia. Two really good comments here by Andy Gonzalez. Andy, flexing your knowledge. First off, Garcia is a weight bully in bantamweight and featherweight. Now in lightweight, his game plan is not going to be as successful as before. Shout out to my guy Tawab, who loves the term weight bully. Yes, exactly. Weight bullying is not going to happen against a guy who's the same height, maybe taller. I don't know. Maheshate is not small, man. On the Dana White Contender Series, it looked like he was fighting a 145er. He's a big kid. Just to think about it from that perspective, Garcia is not going to be able to get that, that little advantage when you're grappling, that little advantage when you clinch, that little advantage of maybe reach or power. He's not going to have. And then my favorite one, Andy Gonzalez, the Mariscal versus Garcia fight was an early stoppage. The ref put money on Garcia. I don't think the ref put any money on Garcia, but he's right. If you go back and watch that fight, that was a freaking horrific stoppage. I see you really know your stuff, Andy Garcia. Good to see you're watching all the shows, not just the UFC. That's a real fan right there.
Yeah, Andy Gonzalez is a good man, bro. He's been on the late night lives a lot in the past, man. I've chatted up with him personally. Very good dude. I call him the leader of the Spanish MMA game right now.
Hey, there we go. Give him the crown. Put a crown on him. Hey, look, I think this is going to be a good fight. I think this is another one that'll be a fun fight. There will be blood.
There will be blood. There will be violence. This is going to be a smash fest. And we're going Maheshate for the win over Steve Garcia. Underdog attack on both sides, too. So let's go. Next fight of the night, Seung Choi versus Josh Culibao. I'm going to lead with mine because I think it's an uncommon pick, but I do think Josh Culibao has a fighting shot. I know Seung Choi is pretty good, but I don't see that next turn of elite status on his stand-up game where Culibao couldn't find success. I believe that he's got good speed. He closes distance fairly well. I like the hooks and the low kicks a lot for Culibao. Seung Choi, though, I do like the straight shots. They do land quickly and they're crisp. Against Caceres, I know Caceres is a southpaw, so that straight down the line was able to land, which not necessarily going to be found here against Culibao, but I like the stand-up game. And let's be honest, if Choi would not have thrown that illegal knee, there is a chance that he beats Alex Caceres by TKO and is finding himself fighting ranked fighters. Now he gets thrown back Josh Culibao, who's game. He had a draw with Charles Jourdain. His loss in his debut was against Jalen Turner, who's, I think, a monster on the rise at 55. I mean, he's 6'3", and Culibao is a 45er. So I look at that matchup, and I'm like, it's able to be written off. I don't take it with a ton. Both guys have pretty solid games. Choi may be better from distance. I think Culibao a bit more explosive. Mm-hmm. I feel like you might see Culibao land some takedowns here. I like the body lock takedowns from him. Am I 100% certain on it? Definitely not, because he does like to strike and he's got an impressive striking game. I'm going to ride Culibao by a decision. It's a fight, though. It's an extreme fight. I saw the odds too, and I'll list them right now. They've been extremely wide towards Choi, and I just don't think that I'm not saying he's not really good, but I don't think he's at that level where he should be minus 235 over Culibao at plus 195, maybe minus 200. Minus 175. I think it's a closer line in this.
You know how I always research it before I check the line, so it doesn't mess with me. Look,
it messed with me when I saw it. And I saw it after, though. I didn't look at it first. And I said, wow, I thought this would be a close fight, odds-wise.
Okay. Yeah. If the odds are that wide, you might be changing my pick, because my pick is Choi. And because when I look at it, Choi's 6 feet tall, more power. You know, I think that him moving forward is going to be a good thing. And then I started digging in more. I started listening to Culibao. I'll go Culibao because that's what AJ is saying. Culibao, in his pre-fight presser, you know, talking to the media, he was saying, I want to counterpunch. I know this guy's going to move forward on me. I've been sparring with Alexander Volkanovski. All Alex does is move forward. So I'm going to be able to, I don't know if he said move side to side, but he definitely talked about counter punching. And it would be smart for him to exit right, exit left. When the train is coming forward, step off the train tracks. I think that there is a clear pathway to victory here for Culibao. So that's a pretty good dog, as our guy Justin Villegas says, pulls it out of my brain and says the exact same thing. Look, my initial pick is Choi, but considering the betting odds, I would not bet on Choi. I think that there's a clear pathway here for Culibao decision. You know, it's lots of kicks and pressure for Choi as he always looks for the bomb. As Dominic Cruz said, commentating his fight, it's always one or two big ones. If Culibao can just not get hit by that 1 or 2 shot combination, fire back after those miss, clear pathway to victory for him via decision. With the odds being that wide, I might as well switch my pick before I even say it out loud here and go Culibao because of the odds. If the odds were dead even, my original thought was Choi. I think it's a close fight. I'll tell you guys this, before we got started, this is the only fight AJ asked me about. So clearly we are both considering what might happen in that cage for this one.
Let's go. I'm excited, man. Let's see what happens with these two as they throw down. It's a matchup. It's a fight, bro. It's a fight. It's a lot closer than the lines have it. And I do think Culibao could get the win. So you're riding Culibao with me here, Mike, or are you going Choi?
Let me answer my guy Omar here. O-space-M-A-R. I like that, Omar. Why would betting odd influence who you will actually think will win the fight? It didn't. It didn't. But what I'm telling you guys on Moneyline is in context who to bet on. So I am telling you that if the odds were even, right, I would think Choi. I'm leaning Choi. But because the odds are not even and we're so on the fence about this one, I might as well double down with AJ and go ahead and say the betting value, let's at least put it that way, is on the side of Culibao.
Yes, bro. At plus 195, it definitely is in a fight that I think maybe more of a pick'ems as far as actual skill sets go side to side here, personally.
I'm going all underdogs. Josh Saunders is hating on me. Mike's record is going to be looking disgusting. We'll see. All right. I picked, a couple of these picks here you guys shit on me for, and they come through. So we'll see. I'll catch you here next week. All right. Look, if I pick this many underdogs, it's got to start looking ugly, right? Come check on me next week. Hold me accountable.
Let's go. You might be looking at Mike like the mystic fucking Mike, though. Like, we'll see.
That's right.
We'll see. I don't know.
If I'm right about all of them, we need a donation next time you're on, my friend.
Yes, I'm with you on that, bro. Throw some money at the money line, and also, sign up at my bookie for us. Let's jump to the featured prelim of the card.
Hey.
Brendan Allen, Jacob Malkoun. Malkoun being a pretty good wrestler. That's his game, though. It's like really based on pressure wrestling, but he does have a pro boxing fight. So like he does have a bit of hands in the mix, trains with Robert Whittaker. I can't say he's not well-rounded. It's just he's only about 5'9", listed over at Tapology. To be honest, I'd like to check the UFC stats also, because Tapology, there have been a couple of times where they have been so off on a stat that it throws you for a loop, and then you're breaking down the fight, and the UFC till the tape comes up, and it's like, wait, he's 6 feet, he's not 5'9"? So let me double check this. No, 5'9" for Jacob Malkoun. So he is at a disadvantage of 5 inches in the height department. Now the reach is only a 2-inch differential, 73 to 75, but arm length I'd suggest to you is longer with Brendan Allen. I do think he's the better pure kickboxer of the two, but not by this wide margin. Where he shines and has success a lot of times is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's very good on the mat. Brendan Allen is a talented grappler. Jacob Malkoun, I think, is probably the better pure wrestler of the two, and he also has high-level looks with Robert Whittaker. It's like, it's a fight, man. It's a fight. I don't think we can look at Brendan Allen as this is an easy matchup. Jacob Malkoun could very well go out there and upset Brendan Allen, but I'm still riding the Allen train. I've been torn on submission or decision. I'd say either is possible. If Malkoun is maybe careless on some takedown attempts and the neck is left out there, could get caught in something. if Allen can find a way to the back, I think he could have success, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Brendan Allen lose this fight. He's had some losses, but majority of those guys bring better power striking, I would say, like a Chris Curtis, even though Sean Strickland is, let's say not hitting with as much intent as of late. He still is pretty good offensively with the hands. Malkoun is going to bring more of that pressure style of like wrestling based game, and Allen with the jiu-jitsu. So to me, I'm going to go Allen, but like, I don't love the pick. Like I want to, side it a little bit to Malkoun, but I can't.
Yeah, I think there's a pathway from Malkoun here, and it's the double leg takedown, threaten with the boxing. But, let's start with the boxing. I mean, we saw Brendan Allen, he got past Punahele, Soriano, Smiling Sam Alvey. I mean, he's dealt with guys who have power in their hands, and he's been able to beat them. And then as far as the wrestling goes, I think he's better on the ground. So, if this was a 5-round fight, it would be even more wide. I just think that within 15 minutes, there'll be enough there for Brendan Allen. With Malkoun, you're going to see him go for those double legs and try to threaten with his hands. The problem is they're in the big cage, so it gives Brendan Allen more room to move. Now, something I'm looking for from Allen is to not throw unset up leg kicks. Sometimes he does that, and those get caught. In my last fight, I was fighting a glory kickboxer, waited for him to kick me so I could take him down. It's like, you kind of give them a treat. Think about it this way. If you're going to start a wrestling match and I gave you my leg to start my wrestling match, I'd be at a big disadvantage. You'd be like, that's ridiculous. That's what you're doing when you're kicking somebody. You're offering them your limb. If Allen is patient with his kicking game, doesn't kick carelessly, like I've seen him do a little bit, you don't want to kick first, and make sure he uses the size of that cage. I see him winning 2 out of 3 rounds. I see him getting it on the scorecards in this one. Like you said, AJ, if Malkoun gets a little hurt on the feet, starts diving on these double legs, I think Allen could submit him. Allen's got a nice rear naked choke. If he takes that back, it's possible. We'll go conservative. I'll say Allen decision.
I like it, bro. I'm with you on Brendan Allen too, but the line is ugly. Minus 315 money line, Malkoun plus 255, right?
Respect for Allen. Holy shit.
Right. It's wide, man. And I guess it's because Allen has beaten more quality opposition, and it's not like Malkoun looked like a world beater against AJ Dobson in the last matchup either.
Right.
Do you go Allen by decision plus 275? Like this could be an uglier bet.
My money stays in my pocket on this one, guys.
Money stays in your pocket. What about over a round and a half, minus 150?
If you think Malkoun, yeah, all day. If Malkoun wins this fight, it's on the scorecards.
Okay. I like it, bro. I feel like Allen could also win on the scores too. You pick an Allen submission as the actual pick.
I'm saying Allen decision is the actual pick, but I agree with you, AJ. There's an opportunity here for Allen to get that back. He throws a couple good head kicks up there, gets this guy shooting stupid takedowns, threatens that guillotine, makes him defend it, comes around, gets the back, puts the hooks in. I could see a pathway for Allen to getting his hooks in on the back. And once you have a wrestler's back, it's these wrestlers are not trained very well with the guys on their back. Even some champions, like Aljamain Sterling was on Petr Yan's back for how long? It's like, Petr, do you know how to get out of a body triangle? It's very interesting to see how these wrestlers have these certain little Achilles heels. I could see that. If Allen gets in the top position, this shit could get ugly quick.
Dude, I just think that back position, honestly, Mike, I'm going to have to say, I just think it's like these guys with these long limbs have just adopted it to be so tricky to escape. Like even you look at Kyoji Horiguchi, couldn't get out of Patchy Mix's back control. So I don't know. I just feel like the frame of Sterling and Patchy Mix, it's just like these weird builds with like thin torsos and like super long legs. It's somehow they're like locked onto you. And it's like, I can't get this guy out. It's like a snake is just locking you in. I think they just got special talents though, because the majority of guys can't hold backs like that.
A good point. There are ways to hold the back if you guys know what a deep hook is, or there are certain things that I think UFC fighters are just starting to get around to that you see in pro jiu-jitsu more often. If you guys study the Danaher Death Squad, the way they keep the back is awesome. So there are ways that shorter people can keep the back, and you get the maximal control. With that being said, yes, having longer limbs, having those Charles Oliveira legs, it just helps for triangles and body triangles, things like this. So So yes, AJ, good observation. I got some long, skinny legs myself, brother. That's kind of my game, bro. So, you know, I think that Allen, if he gets in the top position here, will dominate this fight. If it's in kickboxing, I like him kickboxing too. I like Allen on the feet. I like Allen on the floor. The only place I don't like him is double legs against the fence. We'll see if he can avoid that. I think he will.
Let's go. Now, I want to list off the submission prop for you, Mike, because you did go sub, plus 225 for Brendan Allen by submission. So some plus money.
That's not crazy. I definitely like that better than those shitty money line odds.
Yeah, the money line minus 315. Nah, it's maybe a parlay, but it ain't worth really throwing down on. But let's jump to the main card. Pay-per-view main card. It's UFC 275 coming at you this weekend. The money line is live. I am AJ. I'm here with my guy, Mike Finch. Big announcement, and I guess we're going to say it here on the start of the main card. My bookie has decided to sponsor the money line. So show some love. You know, my bookie, shout out to him. We now have promo code Moneyline.
Moneyline.
It's not just going to be promo code and nothing happens. You get a 50% play bonus. So what that means, you put $500 to bet on, deposit that into your account. That 50% bonus also gives you $250 on top of that. So you got $750 now, and you get that by using code Moneyline. So definitely check out my bookie. I got a link in the description. I have the promo code written on top. Moneyline, name of the show. It couldn't be better. No space in between. Definitely make sure to use that. Much love to everybody watching, and also smash the likes to this 25th Moneyline episode, and we get a sponsor on episode 25. It kind of works out beautifully.
Fitting, brother. It's only fitting that it hit on 25. That's just clean, man. It's meant to be.
It's meant to be, bro. Listen, Mike, I know you're a big fan of all that superstition, bro. I know you're a big superstition.
I knew saying that. I was like, somebody's going to take this the wrong way and think I'm superstitious. I am the least superstitious person you've ever met. Thank you, John Cannon. We appreciate it. Saba MMA question for Mike. What's the reason you quit fighting? Fucking hurts, bro. Fucking hurts, okay? I'd rather talk for a living. Saba, why don't you get in a cage in front of your mom and your grandparents with little gloves on and go fight each other, okay? It is the hardest thing you can possibly do. You know, if I chose to keep going down there, I would just be all in, man. I just don't think MMA is something you should dabble in, you know? And you know, in my, you know, experience as a fighter, I've broken my hand punching somebody in the head. I broke my leg when somebody shot a takedown on me in the gym. I tore the labrum in my shoulder. I've torn my meniscus in both knees. I've got a pop in my shoulder. I have excuses if you want more. I am ready for a money fight. All right. If Floyd Mayweather wants to do an MMA fight, I will welcome his ass in. All right. But I'm not trying to have 20 pro fights, guys. I got a cat to take care of. I can't be hobbling around this damn house. Come on now. This is the toughest thing you could possibly do. Anybody who wants to challenge me on that, we can go into it.
That was great. I love it, Mike. I love it. Thank you, my guys. Thank you, Houdini Beats, the guy, bro. Listen, MMA, it's a lot of fun from the outside. And I mean, it definitely is fun moments for you in there. There's definitely been some fun for you, but going to war time and time again, it definitely takes its toll.
Exactly. Chael Sonnen actually says it best. Chael Sonnen says that when you win, everybody thinks it's like emphatic and all this. When you win, you're just relieved. You're like, oh my God, thank you. Thank God that's over. You know, especially when you're going to fight somebody who's really good. You know, when you're thinking like, all right, he's got a good right hand. I'm trying to go to sleep at night and I'm freaking sweating, trying to go to sleep. I'm taking melatonin just to freaking pass out because I'm thinking of it, playing every little sequence through my head. I have a GSP brain like that. We're perfectionists, man. We can't go out there and be vulnerable in Speedos in front of all you guys. We got to go out there and just dominate people. I love dominating people, right? I would love to fight Jake Paul and hit one takedown. Right? I need the neck one time. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years. He's been doing it for 6 months. No problem. I like the fight. CM Punk, no problem. Me versus Kamaru Usman, you better be pulling out some big checks for me to take that ass whooping because there are some badass MMA fighters nowadays. Guys, I was fans back when like Jeremy Horn was winning titles. You know what I'm saying? The game is different now. You got to be at that level. You cannot dabble in MMA. This is not tennis.
This is not tennis, bro.
The consequences are real.
AJ, you know about boxing? Listen, I'm enjoying doing my thing from the outside, but if the money is right, I'm always down for a fight, especially with just boxing. I'd definitely be down for it. Yeah. If the money is right, I would do it. If they're paying, if they're saying, yeah, we're gonna just do it for free to just get crack, listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to put in a lot of work. But if I was doing it, I'd be training like true Mike Tyson style, neck rolls every day, traps every day. Trust me, bro. I'd be the killer. I'd be the killer. Let's go.
That's how you got to take this shit, guys. You know,
Let's
the
go.
consequences are very serious. Your nose
Yeah.
is going to be over here, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah, if you're fighting Mike Perry, like our guy Josh Saunders says, you know, if
Yeah.
you're fighting Mike Perry, you better be ready to look like Mike Perry did. You guys all remember that picture. You know,
Let's
this is very, very consequential.
Listen, they're asking if I can fight Guru. He's 6'3". Listen, bro, in boxing, he'll be four inches off the ground, bro. That's it. Straight boxing, game over. Game over. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if he's
The guy with
6'7".
the beanie cap.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Come on, AJ. It don't even need to be boxing. AJ's got him on the street.
If Mike's in the corner, bro, we'll jump into the cage too, man, and he'll catch probably a fucking suplex and an arm triangle, bro. That'd be the prediction, because I don't think I don't got some decent top game. Let's go. All right, we gotta get into the fight. We're going crazy on the side topics over here.
How dare you guys derail us?
Jack Della Maddalena versus Razman Emeev. Mike, give us the thoughts.
Shit, man. Emeev is good. It's just he likes to strike so much, you know? What's up, bro? I'm waiting for the takedowns from my guy here. You know, it's if he spends too much time on the feet, he's gonna have a problem. You know, Maddalena is an Aussie. He's fighting at home, guys. You know, so when the judges are watching this shit, all the oohs, ahs, they're all gonna be when he's landing the strikes, right? So there might be a little influence there with that crazy Aussie crowd and their drunken chants. All right. They've been locked up too much in lockdown in Australia. They're going to be going nuts out there. I see the UFC fighters all wearing masks again. It's like, you know, these Aussie fans are going to be going nuts. Probably their first live sporting event in a minute. So, you know, it might be a dogfight, and I think the crowd helps the judges. I really do. Jack has power. He does put people away, and you know, that could be really important here. I think that there is obviously a threat of the takedown. Emeev fought twice in 2021, both split decisions. You know, he hasn't had a finish since Barack Obama was president. Let that shit sink in. Okay. It's a long time. He likes to stand up more than the other Dagestanis. I mean, if you even watched that Sam Alvey fight, he like slugged with Sam Alvey for a long time. Like, why are you standing up with Sam Alvey? If you're going to take somebody down, you know, my advice is to just take Sam Alvey down, get the damn thing over with. So I am worried about the takedown. I just think that the fight is going to be contested where Maddalena wants it to be, which is in Australia, and where Maddalena wants it to be is on the feet. I'm going to say it's another freaking close decision, and I'll go with the hometown guy, man. I got Jack. I'll take him with like a split decision, you know, another one where my money's not coming out of my wallet. But brother, I think he could get it done.
Split decision, brother. No split decision, brother.
Bro, Emeev's last two fights have been split decisions, AJ.
He gonna smash this guy. Not Emeev, though. This Dagestani is not one of my Dagestanis, bro. I think he's more the back end. His offensive wrestling is definitely not near the level. And, you know, Danny Roberts was able to compete in that fight, you know, gets a contentious split decision. I know people have said it was a robbery and whatnot. But regardless, I don't think Emeev has this great offensive wrestling game that is going to be able to stifle Jack Della Maddalena, who I feel like is a real prospect to watch. His stand-up game is beautiful. I need to see more of those hands. I want him keeping this fight on the feet. I believe the takedown defense will be there. If we do find a big hole in the game, I'd kind of be disappointed. I do feel like Maddalena by KO, letting the hands fly, is live here. But Emeev's not an easy guy to put away. Definitely could be looking at fight going distance. I'm going to pick Jack Della Maddalena with the boxing skill set. You know, I love the boxing, bro. He's got hands. I love the combination shots.
Crispy hands.
I think he's crispy, man. And we need somebody right now from that region of, you know, Australia with some more of the hands. I'm not trying to compare him early to like a Robert Whittaker, but, you know, he's from that area. So we'll give him that type of comparison and potential. I like Jack Della Maddalena, man. I like him by KO. I also like the jab, too. He's got a stiff one, and Emeev likes to stand up, like you said, but he doesn't really have any like great X factors standing up. He doesn't bring like serious power. He's not super explosive. He's not really quick. He doesn't have like a stiff jab. He's kind of more bland stand up. I'm gonna call him like a vanilla striker, and he's got decent grappling, but he's a well-conditioned fighter. Like he's decent. Like I don't know how to describe. Like how can we describe Emeev? Would you just be like a fairly well-rounded generalist who's hard to put away and makes guys not look great?
He's a tough, sluggish MFer, man. You know,
Yeah.
he does not have, like you said, that freak athleticism.
Yeah.
And also, as you pointed out, he is the most disappointing Dagestani wrestler I've ever seen.
Yes.
So with those two things together, hometown Maddalena is going to be letting his freaking hands fly. I think this lines up for a good Maddalena performance. With that being said, you know, Emeev has a lot of experience. He's extremely tough. He definitely is a guy who can come through and kind of grind a round out, you know, but it's ugly. Like AJ was pointing out, he doesn't have that 0 to 100. He doesn't have that pop, as we were saying, Silviano Juárez does, right? So I think that not having that pop is going to cost him in this fight. I do think he gets outstruck, AJ.
I hate no pop. I like that pop, bro. I like a little papa, and that's what Jack Della Maddalena does for us. Let's go KO for me.
We're from the Midwest. This is pop in the Midwest for you guys
shit.
who don't know. I don't know nothing about no soda. We call it pop, ladies and
You know
gentlemen.
what's funny? From the Northeast, that's what my grandfather always would call it up in Massachusetts. Pop.
Pop.
That's what it's called. It's pop, bro. Yeah.
I don't
So
know what you guys are talking about with this soda shit.
I call it soda personally, bro, but I don't know how I grew up on that. I just remember from the time I was born, I was ingrained in soda. That's soda right there. But enjoy your pop.
Emeev has no soda or pop. Let's go
Got nothing.
Maddalena. And some of you guys like you, D. I just think this thing will be a little competitive.
Okay. Mike Finch with the Maddalena pick with me. -155 for Jack Della Maddalena. Razman Emeev +125 is the dog. If we look at propping things up, the Finch man likes the decision side. So Della Maddalena by decision +200, Della Maddalena by KO +310, and fight going over 2.5 rounds is sitting at -200. So different ways you can play it. Over 1.5 -350. I might be overzealous on the KO because maybe I'm a little biased towards the stand-up style, but I definitely think it's possible for him to sleep Emeev. And for the hype, for the ability to go forward, you knock out Razman Emeev, that's scary.
That's scary. He'll be looking for it, AJ. I think these guys who, you know, haven't fought in front of a crowd in a minute, they get gassed up out there, man. We were talking about your guy Hamzat against Gilbert Burns. I think he heard thousands of people cheering for him, and they just want to get in that firefight, man.
Yeah.
That would be bad for Emeev. Emeev does not want to get caught up, but you know, Maddalena's got more pop.
More pop, bro. Let's go for the pop. Maddalena for the win on both of our sides. Now, the next fight on this main card is Rogério Bontorin versus Manel Kape. I really am excited to see this matchup. We've talked about both guys in previous shows, which is nice to see some reoccurring faces here. Bontorin's game is pretty tricky, man. He's got heavy top pressure, good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, heavy-handed as well. He boxes pretty good. But Manel Kape is the quicker and more explosive striker, certainly here. And I do feel like for a long time, he's been one of the best at 125 around the globe. He was fighting in Ryzen, fighting Savages, up a weight class, you know, Kyoji Horiguchi, Kaya Skura. Manel Kape, to me, I think is a problem for a lot of flyweights. But at this top of the line, and also Bontorin, who I'd say has like maybe the dark horse of the weight class because he's taken some losses. He's been on and off, but I still think he's live against a lot of people. But I'm not picking him, Mike. I know you give me a look.
I was hoping you go for it.
I'm going Manel Kape for the win. I do think he's going to get it done by a decision. I respect the offensive stand-up a ton, the explosion. I think he's going to defend takedowns. And I feel like we're going to see the hand raised from Manel over Rogério Bontorin, who's not an easy out, though, for anyone. And I like Bontorin a lot.
Bontorin was kind of dominating the title challenger. He trains with Israel Adesanya. His name
Kai
is
Kara France.
Kai Kara France. Thank you very much. He was kind of dominating Kai Kara France. You know, when he gets his hands clasped, he just kind of slowly works his way to your back. And when he's on top, like AJ said, he's a freaking car parked on top of you, man. It is tough to move underneath that guy. You get nailed to the canvas. So there's a big skill difference on the mat. And, you know, I like to point that out because the biggest difference between these two, I think, is the top game of Bontorin and the lack of bottom game that Kape is going to have. job. I think on the ground, it's a huge problem. With that being said, they're fighting in the big cage. So Kape gets to move around, set up his shots. Kape's got hella pop on his punches, right? So I think that Kape's speed, timing, just where he's at in his career right now, these guys are not fucking with him, man. I got Kape by knockout. I think it'll be a badass fight. I think Bontorin's going to get in his face, try to bring some pressure, try to get those takedowns. And I think Kape is putting a 1-2 on him and putting his lights out, man.
Oh, shit. You going Kape by KO? I definitely think that's possible, too. I'm kind of feeling that Kape decision side. I'm thinking Bontorin is durable, but I know Kai did put him out, so it's not impossible here. Great fight.
Oh,
I love the flyweight division. I'm so happy that the UFC never canned this weight class because I was nervous, bro.
Look what happened to it, AJ. It's a fun weight class now, man.
Yeah, it is. It is, bro. It is fun. It is. It's a blast. I got to look at this comment real quick. Hold on. Yo, AJ, Mark Reyes Jr. would be upset. Why would Mark Reyes Jr. be upset, my brother? Why would he be upset, brother? Why would he be upset? Mark Reyes, he's a local boxer that I know growing up around here. I think he's like 20-2, I believe his record is. I don't know why he'd be upset, though. Yeah. Yeah, bro. And listen, people ask me why I'm not watching the Lightning game, because the fight game is the only game that I truly care about. Truly, my heart's in this game right here, and that's where I'm all in. That's my lifestyle, is the fight game, right? This is our thing, Mike. I love other sports. Maybe, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love other sports. I feel nothing towards many sports. My heart doesn't jump and kickstart when I'm watching any other sport, to be honest with you. I like basketball. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. The Lightning are cool. They're my people here in Tampa, but the fight game, dude, this is what I live for. And it's the only thing that really gets the adrenaline going for me.
Come on, guys. You want to see them put a ball through a hoop, you dorks? Let's watch some freaking cage fights, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it's at. Them put a mouthpiece in and really solve that shit. If you've got a problem with somebody, do you challenge them to a basketball game? What are we talking about here, guys? We solve it in the cage. This is where it's at, man. If you want to watch the sport of sports, it's combat. It's got to be combat.
Yeah, facts. But Billy brings up a good point. Hockey fights the next level. We like hockey
Fair
fighters.
enough, Billy. We'll
Let's
get some fist fights in hockey. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think you might be referencing that organization, that hockey fight organization.
I'm hyped to see more of it. Ice fights, bro.
Crazy idea.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, honestly. I'm down to watch all of it. Fucking any way to see violence. You know that's what we love. That's what we love. I do want to read off the props though real quick, because the odds right now are fairly favorable and wide towards Kape -225, Bontorin +185. Looking towards the side, Kape wins by KO +145. That's Mike's pick. I'm decision +250. So I guess it's deciding between the two if you want a prop, but I prefer Moneyline, and it's not bad. And I mean, it's not good at -250. Honestly, it's kind of ugly. To be fair, it's a parlay piece. Like, that's how I kind of feel about this one, man.
When you guys bet KO, you always have to think about, can the striker follow up? And in this case, if Kape does drop him, it's not a guy you want to be running in, dropping bombs on, because Bontorin has significantly better jiu-jitsu. So you could see a place where Kape maybe could have gotten the KO. He doesn't take the risk. He lets him back up. It ends up finding the scorecards. That's not crazy. Kape with a money line bet. You guys know I love the money line straight down the pipe. We named the show Moneyline. That makes perfect sense.
Let's go. Kape, Moneyline pick, and much love to our guy showing the love. Let's go. Thank you, TJ.
Appreciate that. Josh Saunders with the love. We appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much.
He's saying he wants to see your face again, man. A recap. The only way we're doing a recap is if Mike's willing to start his Sundays off at 8 a.m. his time, 11 my time, and go live, man. Which I don't know if he's down for that, bro. And
I'm smoking a joint and going to the beach on Sunday. I don't know what you guys are doing. However, I will be here on Saturday live. We are going to do a fight companion. AJ and I talking you through the fights. I might have a little rum and coke right here. We will have some fun with it, guys. Please join us. We will walk you through the action as it happened, so we don't even have to recap that shit on Sunday. You can let me go get my tan.
Let's go. And I'll be working on the next week's card Sunday. So I'm locked and loaded Sunday nights, bro. I'm back to back. My weekends are grind season, and I'm excited. Also, Shuey. So make sure you guys come into that live stream and just smash up those likes. We're going to do the first one at 100 likes and the second one at 200 likes. Let's get it. And I'm super hyped to have Mike joining me, man, because we don't do them all the time, but when we do, it's a special event with me and Mike Finch on a Fight Companion. There's nothing like
Special
it.
card. I think we're gonna get some fucking fights, AJ. I think we're gonna have fun.
Let's go. Let's keep running up and let's talk about our featured bout of the night. Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Dude, the best female fight in MMA history.
Ever.
Period.
And they pissed me off though, because they gave us 3 rounds and we deserve 5. Why are we doing 3 rounds for this? Tell me. Why is Nate Diaz 20-20 at this point? When's Nate Diaz won the last couple? Come on. Why does Nate Diaz get the privilege of 5 rounds all the time? Why are we doing that for him? Why don't we do it for Zhang and Jędrzejczyk? Now, I know they might not want that. I understand. It's like, listen, they just want 3 rounds, get in and out. But for the legacy of the matchups and to truly get the trilogy as pure as possible, I believe 5 rounds was necessary. And I think number 1 contenders fights should always be 5 rounds, regardless of being the first fight on a main card, the featured bout of the night, or the main event, which is unfortunate because if this was on fight night, it wasn't pay-per-view, it was just a fight night card. This is 5 rounds. And this is a different fight, only being 3 rounds.
Facts.
I hate it. I actually hate it, bro. I was upset when it came to me that it was 5 rounds afterwards. And I said, it wasn't 5 rounds afterwards. And I said, holy shit, like I'm envisioning a 5-round fight. This is 3 rounds. I hate it, bro.
Things, yeah.
I hate it. I hate even thinking about it now because I want 5, but I believe Joanna Jędrzejczyk's going to start faster here. She's been out for a while. Are the tools sharpening? I'm going to say yes. I know Henry Cejudo's your boy. He's got Zhang doing some savage wrestling, and I believe her offensive wrestling has definitely improved, but I believe Jędrzejczyk still is extremely difficult to take down, and I think there's a chance that we see the circle of the women's strawweight division, which Carla Esparza, the first defense of her belt, will be against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and Jędrzejczyk beats her by TKO, similar to the first one. I don't see it happening differently. I see Joanna running through Esparza. I see Zhang also beating Esparza, but I'm going to say Joanna for the win in this one on a very competitive decision, man. But she's got to start fast, and she's got to land punches, straight punches especially, avoid the clinch situations, and we know Zhang has the power edge. Harder hitter for sure.
Absolutely. Weili is just, I mean, when her athletics are on point, that pop she gets, man, she is a very well-rounded fighter at this point. I mean, I really believe in the wrestling training with Henry Cejudo. I believe her takedowns will be there. Look, Joanna Jędrzejczyk's takedown defense is really impressive. And what's more impressive even is when her butt hits the mat, that shit is hot lava. She jumps right back up on her feet. So I have a lot of faith in Joanna's takedown defense. I actually think they'll neutralize good takedowns, good takedown defense. I think they wipe it out again and they go back to the feet. Here's something I was really encouraged by. I was really encouraged to hear Joanna Jędrzejczyk say exactly what I have just been saying all week that she needs to do. I'm sure Mike Brown played a part in this because he's a great MMA mind as well. If you go back and watch Jędrzejczyk versus Weili, the biggest problem Joanna had is she fought her in the pocket. Why? Why are you standing right in front of this explosive Chinese, phenom? Why are you standing right in front of that 1-2? She got hit with too many straight right hands, AJ. What she needs to do is just take a step back. If she fights or not here, just 1 row back, it's going to be a huge difference in the fight because Weili will just be a little short. AJ, what's the difference between somebody missing by a mile and by a centimeter? You didn't get hit, okay? If she is short on those shots and Joanna can react, that's going to be a big deal. And then listen to what else Joanna was saying. She was talking about her shot selection, talking about her movement, using footwork. That's exactly what I want to hear when I'm hearing about a Joanna game plan. I got to say, initially hearing from this fight, the first thing I thought is Weili's been active. Joanna has not been active. And when I hear that, immediately I'm favoring the active person because that's just how brutal this sport is. You play a preseason in football. You don't get a warm-up fight in the UFC, though, right? They just throw you right in there. So if you guys remember after Conor took some time out, how flat he looked against Khabib, you give a lot of examples, right? But unless you're talking to Dominic Cruz, who says ring rust doesn't exist, everybody else thinks it does. So I think that that's a factor here, and it's enough of a factor to make me keep my money in my pocket for this fight. I will double down with you and say that Joanna gets 2 out of 3 rounds by not making this a fight of the year. Joanna, We saw how badass you two can be. We don't need that this time. If you want to earn some people some money, take a step to the left, take a step to the right, take a step back. Let this woman miss her shots. And if Weili wants to kick more, I think that'll open opportunities for counters for Joanna as well. She's taller, longer. I do think that she'll be able to use those things in this fight with the proper game plan. AJ, I'm crazy for this because she hasn't fought since the Stone Ages, but Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I'm doubling down.
She hasn't fought since the flu Rona times. The pre
Oh my
times.
God. How about that?
The medieval
you guys
times
remember
almost.
that?
I don't remember
Back
that.
when Trump was president and we had
don't.
no virus, right?
No.
Nobody was walking around your town wearing a surgical mask.
No.
Yes, I do think that that's a factor. AJ, how much of a factor is it that Joanna hasn't fought since 2019?
I mean, it's got to be a somewhat factor, but it also could be, hey, she could be sharpening some tools, right? Working on a lot of game planning, a lot of sparring, some live rounds. Obviously, nothing replicates being in the cage with a live crowd in attendance, but I feel like you can get better and improve your style, man. I feel like Joanna could be it. I like Joanna Jędrzejczyk a ton. She's one of my favorite females ever, right? So it's like, it's hard to go against her for me. And I think Zhang is good, but I think she could have won the first fight. And if she fights smarter here, 3 rounds, comes out with a faster pace, the Boogie Woman is back.
That's right. If she fights smarter, that's what she was just saying on UFC Embedded. And so hearing that gives me more confidence saying Joanna. You know, if Joanna is just going to come forward like a bulldog like she did last time, she's going to end up with 2 foreheads. You know, we don't want to see that shit again. Pity patter her way to a decision. Absolutely. Stick that jab and move. Stick and move. I want to see Joanna's feet moving in this fight. I want to see some more Max Holloway in those feet. Side to side, do not stand in front of Weili. That's how you beat that bull. You don't stand in front of the Matador's cape, right? You stand out the side, you let the bull go past you. Don't stand in front of Weili and you can beat her.
Let's go. I like it, man. Show us your massive arms, dude. You got to check that out on the AJ DeVito Fitness Instagram.
Hey, he's making an OnlyFans. Save that shit for that, all right? This is a family show.
Yeah, that's going to be my little adult rating, R-rated, X-rated, triple X-rated show. When you guys want it, man, if you guys demand it, I'll drop it, man. I know some of you are going to be signing up, so definitely keep your eye out.
I will not be one, AJ. I will not be one.
Listen,
he does
Mike.
have a fitness Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Hit him up.
Yeah, hit me up. Looking for training? Hit me up. Let's get to the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko, Talia Santos.
Right.
There's no way you can pick against Shevchenko. Like, there's no way you can. And Mike, don't tell me you're gonna tell me straight out right now. You're not picking against it.
I think this is going to be the toughest fight of Shevchenko's career since she's fought Amanda Nunes. Yeah. Since she's fought Amanda Nunes, I think this is the toughest fight she'll have. I think Santos is going to definitely be a formidable opponent. Santos is very good on the ground, even better with the Muay Thai. I think it's a fight, AJ.
I think it's a fight too, and I think going distance is kind of what I'm feeling. But I think Valentina Shevchenko and still, man. It's just you can't push me off the train. The hype, it's not even the hype train. It's the train of GOAT. It's just the GOAT train. It's the train. The facts train. Like, there's no hype on it. This is real shit. Shevchenko is extremely precise, explosive, technically sound, incredible. She's just incredible, man.
When I saw Amanda Nunes hitting pads before that Juliana Pena fight, I thought to myself, man, she's looking a little slower, or like the hands they don't have that pop, right? I just didn't quite see it. When I saw Canelo Alvarez working the cannonball bag before that Bivol fight, again, I'm like, he's looking a little slower. They end up taking L's. I watched Shevchenko hitting the pads this week. She looks fire. Shevchenko is full speed, full blast. I mean, look at her working out with some of these girls. She just pays these girls to stand in front of her with the gloves up, and Shevchenko's just going off on hop, hop. I mean, her Muay Thai is wicked quick. I love the explosiveness of Shevchenko. That's a huge thing that she's got that these other girls don't, is she'll be able to come light speed in there to land that strike and get back out. I love the energy with Shevchenko. She's so seasoned stand at this point, AJ. She's such a good mixed martial artist at this point. She's not just a striker. Her takedowns are super underrated. Her wrestling is super underrated. Her ground game is super underrated. So her striking is what everybody understands to be that great. And that's actually the only thing I think people are overrating, is that Shevchenko is just going to go out there and just bruise this girl up. Talia Santos is the second best striker in the division. I just think that Shevchenko is the best female fighter in the world right now, and she will win this thing on the scorecards. But AJ, I don't think she wins all 5. I think this is a good fight.
I like it. So you think there's a chance of maybe a 49-46?
Yes, I think that Santos could take 1 or 2 rounds with her pressure, with her ability to be patient and then counter. You know, one thing that Santos does is she'll miss, and she's not moving after she misses. You know, Teddy Atlas calls it taking pictures. After you throw a punch, you don't want to stay there and take pictures because somebody can respond. You throw a punch and you move. I would love to see Santos do that more, because I do think Shevchenko is going to start countering her with actually kicks, but growing into full combination. So if Santos could just show me a little bit cleaner with the hands, dude, it's going to be a good fight. I think these ladies are going to put on even more of a show than Weili and Weili and Jędrzejczyk. And that's crazy. Nobody else is saying that, but I think this will be a good fight.
I definitely think there's high possibility of an amazing matchup here, because Santos is that prospect. 19-1 with the 1 loss is not even like a sure thing decision. It's this little iffy, right? So you could be looking at
pretty record. Really, yeah, pretty much 20-0. Very close fight.
I feel like Shevchenko should win. I like what you said about her looking good on pads, which is refreshing. You know, it's good to hear, making sure we're in the clear. We're not going to be Mike Finch picking up on some strange intuition. So I'm good that we're here with Shevchenko still. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Talia Santos is really good, but it's just hard for me to see anyone at 25 beating Shevchenko. She just looks near unbeatable. And I feel like she is the greatest woman of all time. And I think, you know what, if she decides to go up a weight class, whether Nunes or Pena, I'd be very interested in both those fights again. Now, note this too. If Santos gets overzealous later, because I believe frustration could be something that's set in, right? If she's fighting against Shevchenko and having a hard time landing, a lot of pressure she's coming in with, but still Shevchenko's finding success, I feel like Santos is a girl that will attempt to go out on her shield. I do think there's a chance of a Shevchenko counter shot knockout with that in mind. I mean, a fighter that's 19-1 with 1 controversial loss, like, she's got to be believing, and I do think she's going to try to put it on Shevchenko. She's not coming in to lose, that's for sure. And I feel like she's going to give it all she's got. Oh yeah.
She sounds super confident in her interviews. You know, I've been impressed with her mindset, and you know, she's not like these other girls Shevchenko's fighting. I'm pulling it up here. You know, Caitlin Chikagian, you know, Jessica I, Priscilla Cachoeira, Jennifer Maya, Lauren Murphy. Jesus Christ, this is not Lauren Murphy. This is not Lauren Murphy, guys. This is going to be a good fight. No cap, by the way, Cody Willard. No cap. We're talking real shit here. I'm telling you guys, I really believe we're going to see some blood. I just think that, yes, I mean, to appease Cody here, the fact is that Shevchenko is the best female fighter I think we've ever seen. That is my honest opinion. I think that's the best female martial artist I've ever seen.
I agree. She is. She's it. She's got it. And I feel like the line is kind of justified because it's Shevchenko -600. Looking at Santos +400, the line's super wide. And Cody, we love you too, my guy. We love you too. Let's go.
Shout. Cody, I ain't lying to you. There's no cap on this show. Come on, man.
Cap.
No, much love. I appreciate it.
That's the only cap on here is my cap.
AJ's cap. He'll lose it when a Hamzat fight's on. Look, I think that if you look at their records, 19-1 versus 20-3, you'd be like -600. Are these people nuts? You know, it's when you start digging into the nuts and bolts. Yes, I think this will be a good one, guys. I'm excited to do this one live, and you guys could tune in and tell us if we're right or wrong. Okay,
dude, I need you here live for this one, Mike. It's a once in a lifetime fucking opportunity that for Mike Finch in the house. Let's keep running though, because we got the main event of the evening to talk about now. For the people watching that haven't, smash the hell out of the like button, and if you're new, subscribe. I'm here with my man Mike Finch, and we're talking it. It's Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prochazka.
Oh,
I watched the countdown show, and I'm like, dude, Yuri's just the craziest man in fighting. I think he surpasses T. Ferg, bro. There's levels to this game, and he's the top. Powerful.
Yeah.
Mentally strong. True warrior style. The
Strong
concern
ponytail.
is what strongest ponytail in the game. What happens when Glover Teixeira gets on top? That is the concern. Prochazka is very successful at getting back up to his feet, but let's note he uses a lot of explosiveness and athleticism. I believe that works for the first round and a half. What happens if it goes later? Glover survives, works him against the clinch. Second round, third round now. That explosiveness is not going to be there, not nearly as much as early in the fight. Glover Teixeira will be extremely dangerous on top. Now, that being said, I've seen Glover Teixeira stunned a good amount throughout his career.
And put away.
And put away. He's been knocked out before. And uppercuts are shots that have landed and putting him out. A guy to sleep Glover Teixeira, to me, has to either be an absolute powerhouse or extraordinarily technical. Or actually, I'm going to add one more to the mix. Hard to read, not rhythmic. Glover Teixeira is a rhythmic striker. He has a very quality boxing-based kickboxing style. Gonna press inside, works decent hands. I think he has a solid left hook. And he also is very good at changing the levels. As he's backing you up against the cage, will square up a little bit, prepared for the takedown, and prepared to shoot the takedown, rather. Yuri Prochazka is pressure forward style. He's looking to take your head off from the start, and he throws punches from the hips. What is an advantage of the punches from the hips to me? Wrestling defense. I feel like Teixeira shooting low with Prochazka's hands as low as they are, it's not going to be easy. And power for power, I think Prochazka hits harder, though Teixeira is a big puncher. Chin for chin, Prochazka eats a great shot. Glover Teixeira, of course, if he landed a perfect left hook, could he knock out Prochazka? For sure. He's a legend of the game. But when Prochazka touches the chin, and he touches it from that awkward angle, and 42-year-old Teixeira feels the first one. He might be going down from the first one, but I think it'll take a couple. I'm going first round knockout Yuri Prochazka here, but Glover Teixeira is not an easy matchup, certainly.
Glover Teixeira is not an easy matchup, and Glover has been an underdog a couple times on this streak he had here, and he's proven people wrong. You know, he's been putting people away. I think that one thing that people really learned about Glover and what he really dusted off was that grappling background. You know, he was a boxer pretty much heading up to that John Jones fight, as far as people saw, but he actually competed in ADCC way back. For those of you guys that don't know, that's like the high level grappling tournament of no-gi grapplers. So Glover Teixeira has been a grappler. He's just really putting it on guys now and, being smart about it. So I do think that there is a pathway there. And the obvious pathway is Glover to work his way in with that high guard, shoot a takedown, get Yuri up against the fence, pull those legs out. Yuri bases out. He takes his back just like Dominic Reyes just did. And trust me, I would much rather have Dominic Reyes on my back than Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira on your back is going to wrap that present up in a bow. He is going to get that thing over and done with. So you cannot be making mistakes like that. And Prochazka is a guy who does make mistakes. Every Prochazka fight, you can point to opportunities and mistakes. And, you could say less of that with Glover's tighter, lower risk style. Let's talk real here. Dana White says it all the time. He says that this fighting is a young man's game. The young man is Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka is coming through with all of this momentum. All you guys are, not all you guys, but I've heard it a couple times now where Yuri's going to catch him with an uppercut. I think the biggest difference here is that Yuri uses all his limbs. Glover likes to use his left and his right hand. It's Yuri who will throw an elbow when Glover's in there trying to box. He'll frickin' elbow. He'll spin and do it as well. He'll throw a knee up the middle. He'll do that goofy shit you don't see coming. That is the type of thing I think we'll see hit Glover. We'll put Glover on wobbly legs and we'll get him out of there. Guys, I'm a Glover Teixeira fan. I got so much respect for Glover Teixeira, but at 43 years old against this surging, young, athletic, dangerous kid, I just think the danger is too great. Glover gets clipped with some big shots. I think they'll look like elbows and knees more than they will be punches. We'll see. But I got Yuri Prochazka by knockout, taking that belt at light heavyweight. And finally, as AJ said, having a debate here, because I keep shitting on the UFC light heavyweight division, saying I don't. erase that from the script. I keep saying the UFC light heavyweight division would be damn competitive with the Bellator light heavyweight division. You put Yuri Prochazka at the top, and now we've got more of an argument. Yuri Prochazka gets that belt from Glover Teixeira and makes a new era for the light heavyweight division.
Let's go. New era, and also donation in the chat. Low T City Ortega with the donation. Love the show, boys. I got big money on this under 2.5 in the main event. And we're going to get to the odds for it right now. The actual money line odds presented by my bookie, the newest sponsor of the show. Definitely use our promo code Moneyline to check it out. Maybe you want to bet the dog, Glover Teixeira. Maybe you're throwing down on Yuri Prochazka, the favorite, or any of the other fights on the card. Moneyline. Use the code on my bookie. You'll get a 50% playback bonus. Let's talk about the odds though. -200 Prochazka, Glover Teixeira, +160. You look towards prop betting this one because there's some fun props here. I love Moneyline Prochazka though. You could go Prochazka by KO TKO -135. It's ugly money. Instead, I'll push maybe towards under 2.5 rounds at -190. You could be playing in risky territory, but I do think under a round and a half at -105 could also be a casher. So different ways to look at it. Mike, do you have a prop that you're kind of feeling here? I feel like the money line is where I'm lying, though.
I think if Prochazka gets this thing done, he puts Glover away. You know, it would be, if this is going 5 rounds, then Glover performed better than most of you guys are giving him credit for. You know, if this thing goes 5 rounds, Glover's getting some takedowns. This thing got ugly somehow, because if things go according to plan for Yuri, he's knocking this man out. And guys, you know, if you're watching the embeddeds and all of the, you know, content that the UFC puts out for us, you guys will see Glover's like, man, you know, I gained some weight on that flight. You know, I'm feeling the jet lag a little bit. He used different words, but essentially what he's saying is that he's not feeling the best right now. He's 43 years old, flying around the freaking world, just coming out there 1 week before you fight. When you go out for an international fight, do it like Fabricio Verdum did. Who here remembers when Fabricio Verdum was fighting Cain Velasquez? He went to Mexico City a month beforehand. Rafael Cordero flew out there with him. They had him training up at high elevation, getting ready for that Cain Velasquez fight. What happened? Cain flew in week of, gassed out like crazy, and got beat up. Now, take the high elevation factor out, but still, that jet lag is real, man. I think Glover should have gone out there a couple weeks ago. I do hear of some adversity he's dealing with there. You got to think that Prochazka's got this thing, and I do think he does it via KO. AJ, what's that, my bookie prop?
The KO is -155, I believe. Let me pull it up again here.
That's not juicy
and
enough.
double check it.
I wanted something happier than that.
-150, actually. That's not that juicy, brother. That's not a juicy play. It's unfortunate. First round knockout, do you think?
Woo! Now we're talking. Look, when the kid's fresh, he could do it. He's got 5 minutes. Prochazka is used to fighting long times. You know, he's fought those 10-minute opening rounds, and he's fought
+250 first round knockout.
That's +250 first round, huh?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's too risky, guys. I don't like going specific rounds. If you guys are doing that, be ready to just know that your money's at high risk when you bet a round. You know, betting a specific round is tough.
Let's go. Yeah, the round bets are.
Yes, though. Yeah, I'll pick Prochazka KO round 1. Absolutely.
I'll take that bet. I got Glover. He finishes Yuri. We'll take the Tequila Shui amigos if I lose. But if I win, I go on the show and claim an AJ signed Shui. I'd love to sign a Shui for you, man. Maybe I'll set up a PO box and you guys can mail me things. If you want the signature, I can make it happen, man. I'd love to sign some fucking autographs, man. That'd be a first.
Oh.
That'd be a true first, bro.
Let's go. Let's go. I like the signed Shui idea. That's pretty good. I think that AJ should take that bet. If Glover wins, you're pounding a Tequila Shui.
I thought he was pounding a Tequila Shui.
Read that shit back. If he we'll take Tequila Shui's amigos if I lose. I see. Yes. I see. All right.
I'm doing a Shui anyways, man. You know, the Shuis, it's hard to bet me with Shuis because you know you're going to see them, man. You know, it's like the moon every night. You know, you're going to see it for the most part. Let's jump to the next section. We got a specialty section coming up after. We're going to get to the Moneyline Lock of the Night section, and then we got a new section for you guys. So keep it locked in. I'm going to surprise you with it. But first, the Moneyline Lock of the Night. Let's go, guys. It's time for our Moneyline Lock of the Night. We got to change the screen here because now we got MyBookie as the official sponsor too.
Let's go, my
Of
bookie.
this segment. We've been talking about it throughout because we really wanted to hammer it to you guys and let you know that we're sponsored now by them because it's pretty damn sweet. MyBookie, 50% match bonus up to $1,000, which means you're going to get 50% on top of the money that you're already depositing into your account using the code Moneyline. Let's talk locks of the night, Mike. Give me yours first. I'm actually extremely curious where you're going to lean.
Tough card to pick a lock. I must admit, Yuri's got a little bit too much of a favorite status for me to go Yuri KO, although I do like that bet. I'm going to go for my bookie lock of the night, Fialho. I'm going to go Fialho with the knockout. Look, guys, you could just bet it straight down the middle, go money line. Those odds are not that wide for the mismatch that I think we're about to see. I got Fialho delivering for you guys. Again, watch out for those dangerous hands. I do think he gets it done inside distance. Just go money line. Fialho, AJ.
Damn, bro, that would have been mine, but instead, I'm going to give you mine here. Jack Della Maddalena to beat Ramazan Emeev. I'm extremely confident in my striker. I think he's got the goods to be a problem coming forward. I like the bet. And if you're looking to play one, you can always check it out on MyBookie. These are the money line locks of the night, and it's a sweet segment here with these like designs. MyBookie here. Look at this thing, man. We look professional, brother.
Shout out to Kusha and Billy Barnes, of course, for always keeping our show looking awesome. You guys see Billy Barnes in the comments section often. That's our producer. Tell him you love him. Show him some love at some point here, guys. He works hard. He actually helped us get this MyBookie thing all set up. So shout out to everybody for joining in. Guys, do you feel the momentum? Are we coming up in this world? Tell your friends, ladies and gentlemen. Moneyline is moving.
Moneyline's moving, and we got a new segment that we're bringing in for the first time ever. So it's not going to finish with the lock of the night. It's going to finish with this new segment. You'll see it in 1 second.
Stand back, watch the bomb drop.
All the competition that try to compete.
Stand back, watch the bomb drop.
The $100 parlay. I love doing parlays, and the money line was missing a parlay section. We got to ride with it, bro.
Facts. Absolutely, AJ. AJ, you're always being so nice and letting me kick off these parlays. So now we've got the first ever MyBookie sponsored parlay. Please, AJ, the MMA expert himself, kick it off.
All right, man. So I have 2 of them written down here for you guys. The first one is going to be Jack Della, Maddalena, and Manel Kape. The value is going to be sitting around plus 135. I guess let's update it here. I'm going to get you the exact value right now because I'm actually damn curious. So if we throw on Manel Kape, Jack Della, Maddalena back to back, try to get your money right. I mean, shoot, I think it's coming in heat, bro, because I feel like this is a solid play. We're looking at plus 137 on MyBookie as of right now. But if you're similar to Mike Finch and you think Andre Fialho is going to win, you add him onto the slip, you could be looking at plus 300 value for that. So Jack Della Maddalena, Manel Kape, Andre Fialho. I love those 3 as more of a risky one. The safer one is just Kape, Maddalena, but both are quality plays. And if you want to add in a time prop, which is something that I really love doing with parlays, I think you'll want to Jędrzejczyk and Weili, the over 2.5. Could be a valuable play. If you had that in with just Jack Della Maddalena and Manel Kape, you're looking at plus 224. If you also had Fialho in the mix with that, plus 447. That is the first ever MyBookie sponsored Moneyline $100 parlay. Use the code Moneyline on MyBookie to play some new bets if you're looking to sign up.
It had to be AJ DeVito doing it. We had to do it right, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to AJ, the OG of this channel. And so happy to be doing Moneyline with you, man. This is fun shit. All right, you guys ready for a crazy freaking parlay? I'm nuts. I'll start out with 3, but I got 5 here. All right, look, if you're just doing a 3-fight parlay, which you should do if you're a responsible adult, not like me, if you're a responsible adult, Yuri Prochazka knockout. I like it because it's in a parlay. Now, look, I'm going to go money line for all of them, right? So I'm just giving you my official pick, but Yuri Prochazka. Money line, Yuri Prochazka. Maddalena decision, but Maddalena, again, just money line. He might get that KO. Fialho, KO, I already told you guys. If you guys are going to do 3, I like Fialho, Maddalena, Yuri Prochazka. Boom.
Plus 316.
There you go. There you go. 3-fight parlay. You're not nuts. Now, let's say You're like me. You want to sweat a little bit more while you're watching the fights. You know, you want to sit on the edge of your seat. Let's say we want to mix up the seating position. Kape looks good to me. He's going to have trouble on the floor. I hope he doesn't end up on bottom. That could be a death sentence, but I don't think he will. He's got a big cage to move around in. Let's say he does well. He gets his knockout, even if he just money line him. Add Kape to that. It gets a little sweeter. AJ, you want to hit us with the odds?
Right now, plus 500 if you got Kape, Fialho, Maddalena, and Prochazka.
We're juicy
baby.
at this point. I got one more for you guys. If you're going nuts, I think Liang Na via armbar is not crazy at all. Liang Na finishes girls. She's much younger. She's getting better. Meanwhile, on the other side, Silviana Juárez, very, very athletic, but that's about it, right? Dangerous on the feet, and that's about it. Now, that's my least of this parlay. Again, I'm going to stick with the official parlay as those three, but if you add that on for a crazy 5-fight parlay, you're walking away with some cash.
Bro, you know the value of that is plus 1,134. So if you do play that one, the Finch man, the wild Finch man play.
All right? We're all taking shots. On me.
Go.
I'm sending a bottle of proper 12 around. We're all going in, all right? That is my first ever My Bookie parlay. Remember, this is not financial advice. You guys got to use your own brain. We're just trying to help you out. We're trying to give you our thoughts so that it influences the way you're thinking about the fight. I'm not telling you who to pick. You pick who you're confident in. Whenever you invest in anything, you make sure you believe in it. And that way, the only person you have to blame is the one looking back at you in the mirror. Don't be hitting me up. I don't want you in my DMs talking shit. Although that's never happened. What actually has happened is some of you guys have jumped in my DMs and said how much you like the show and whatnot, and I always appreciate that. I had somebody hit me up last week that said they hit a parlay, and they gave me credit. Again, it's not me. I'm just telling you what I think. You got to make that decision. Bet responsibly.
Let's go, man. That was the first ever sponsored show, and it's the 25th episode. Shout out to MyBookie, guys. You can also give them a follow at MyBookie_MMA on Instagram. They're looking to get more into the pure MMA betting space of things, so definitely look at that too. They're going to be a consistent sponsor of the show, so really looking forward to working with them. Make sure to sign up at MyBookie using the code Moneyline. I mean, now you got more incentive to go there. You get the 50% match bonus, and you support your favorite show every week. So,
and you guys can sit with us and sweat this shit out this Saturday. We will be live on MMA Experts. AJ and I going through that whole main card. AJ's live for the whole damn thing. Tune in, and we will see you guys live. Drop in the comments. We'll be interacting even a lot more than we do during Moneyline. Come watch some fist fights with us.
Yeah, well, we're going to be answering majority, if not all, the live chat that we can keep up with. So definitely tune in to the show. We won't be forgetting about you guys. Don't worry. We'll be ready to do that Q&A throughout. One last thing, MVP, Mike Perry, before we send it off, bare knuckle fight. Why not talk about it? Add a little excitement at the end. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I love it. Look, what a strange fight. You have two extremes, right? One extreme is the athletics and the wonderful karate stance and the timing and the distance that MVP Michael Venom Page brings to bare knuckle. I mean, he's going to have a whole new style for people to deal with. What I like about bare knuckle for MVP is one specific thing. It's that MVP can fight you from another zip code. He will just jump into your town, break your windows real quick, get right back over to where he's safe. I really like that for MVP because he does not want to stand in front of the frickin' Louisville slugger that is our bare knuckle freak, Mike Perry. Mike Perry don't care if his nose is wrapping around to his neck. He's going to keep on swinging. Mike Perry is a dog. He loves bleeding. He loves getting in there and going toe to toe and just seeing who's tougher. The polar opposite of the finesse style of our man MVP. AJ, I think it at least will be a fun fight. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I have no real strong lean. I'm trying to picture it, but it's going to be so weird. I think that MVP is probably going to sleep him. So I'm going to say MVP knocks him out. He's more precise. I'm going precision. Straight shot maybe down the line, like a true, as I feel like Mike Perry's head movement is like non-existent for the most part. He gets hit so much, and I feel like precision beats power, timing beats speed.
Who said
and
that?
The Hendrix. I said that actually. Conor McGregor once said that. The legendary
Exactly.
McGregor. Let's go.
I'm going to double down with AJ and just say that MVP is a far more skilled striker. Now, that being said, I actually just interviewed bare knuckle fighter Mark the Shark Irwin, who we titled on my show Spotlight, the new Huntington Beach bad boy. Not the original Huntington Beach bad boy like Tank Abbott. Not the Huntington Beach bad boy like Tito Ortiz. No. The 2022 new Huntington Beach bad boy, Mark the Shark Irwin. You guys could check out his bare knuckle fights. They're on YouTube. You can find them on Instagram. When I talked to Mark, AJ, what he told me was that these guys think it's like boxing. These guys think it's like MMA. And then you get in there and you get punched in the face and the shit gets wild. And that's why we're seeing these wild fights. That's why we're seeing, as AJ was saying beforehand, maybe the technique isn't as high level as you see in these other sports. He says it's tangibly different and you can't understand it until you do it. I really think that happened, in the Artem Lobov and the boxer who sparred. Thank you, Paulie Malignaggi. I think in that fight, Paulie Malignaggi found out real quick, oh shit, this ain't boxing. I thought this was more like boxing than this. I think he found out pretty quick. So with MVP, what will that learning process be like? It is his bare knuckle debut. It is a different sport. Mike Perry does have some fights in bare knuckle. That makes me think this thing could be more fun than it is on paper, because what I see on paper is one of Bellator's best strikers ever coming in to bare knuckle and just absolutely outclassing the always fun to watch Mike Perry. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a guy who could fight from distance, strike with a guy who needs you in a firefight. I don't think MVP will be there for that firefight. I got MVP all day.
Let's go, Mike. I love it. Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Money Line. We've killed it, brother. We had Aung La N Sang on. We talked about the whole card. We finish it up with a little BKFC talk. What else do you need from the MMA world?
Show. I mean, we had fun, guys. Thank you guys so much. We always appreciate the love. If you guys drop a comment in the YouTube video after we post it, it's live right away. We do appreciate that. Always hitting the like button and sharing with people. We want to grow this thing so we can keep bringing you guys more content. The bigger we get, the more badass the guests get. And we want to just keep driving this rocket all the way up to Mars. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Straight to Mars, like the great Elon Musk wants to do, man. We're doing the same thing, just with the MMA
We'll
game.
get Elon on as soon as we hit that, that like 10,000 live we're looking for. We'll get Elon on. All right, we're working on it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Much love, Mike. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new. Check out Mike Finch. Also, make sure to follow him across all social medias as well. Mike Finch Show, Mike Finch MMA, Mike Finch Show on YouTube. Don't forget to give my man some love and check out his show Spotlight, because he's got some great podcast guests. And maybe I'll be a guest on there one day. That's what I'm hoping for, Mike. I would love that.
AJ just invited himself on my show. No,
I did.
I'm playing. I would love to have AJ on. We're doing it, AJ. We're doing it. You got to book a boxing fight or something, though. I need some shit to really tangibly dig into. Let's get AJ in the ring. All right. Keep bugging AJ like you guys bug me.
Listen, we just got to find the right opponent, man. That's the problem, bro. We need an opponent that sells, man. I called out on Twitter.
What's up? What's up, Ariel?
Come on, bro. Don't fucking make me hurt Ariel Hawani. He's a nice guy. Let me tell you the guy I called out, bro. You know these fucking dudes on YouTube, doing this boxing thing. Anasan Gibb and Austin McBroom. I commented, I quoted the tweet. I said, I smashed both these clowns same night. #easy. So if they want the work, come get it. Let's go. Give me the Rocky shot, bro.
We're ready.
Let's get it. Much love, Mike. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all so much. And peace.